Near Watkins Glen, I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's a very sleepy town.
Okay.
I don't know about, I didn't ever went to the falls. That's where they have the fire academy.
Okay.
And so I've been there, that's where they have it, and it's kind of a, I say, kind of a
I get
sleepy town.
nervous with, there's so many places, beautiful falls and all that, and they're kind of treacherous.
Hi, Tom.
Treacherous walks, not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I can't answer that.
Yeah, yeah. Have you been to Delphi Falls? Yes. Yeah, that's, I mean, that literally is like a flat path. Yeah, right outside of town. Yeah. Yeah. I'm hearing about this tour falls, and I thought, well, it depends. I can't even sit in balconies anymore. I get kind of. Probably has more going on than.
Yeah.
And that's not much. I'm gonna run to the ladies.
Oh, yeah, probably freezing.
Down for all day Saturday.
Don't sit in that chair. Sir, what address are you here for? You want to come sign in? Perfect. Hello. I already poured you a cup because I've still got a little bit. And, no problem.
Hey, Joe. Good.
She's pretty close, wasn't she? We were taking bets on what time we thought you were going to be here. You said 5:05. You came in at 5:04.
Looks like 5:03 to me.
It really looks like 5:02.
Well, we don't go by that
I will
clock.
take that. 5:02 it is. 5:05.
Because that clock doesn't know how to talk.
Well, I knew we were in trouble when I received a text from Carl about
Is Carl coming?
Some people will be here at 5 or at 6, we don't know.
But he will grace us with his presence.
yeah, but we don't have to
Just me.
outdoors?
I had no
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, because I see a picture of Alex, so riled up, but that doesn't take much.
I'm not saying anything.
What's the address? Robin Owen, okay. We will have you sign right next to the X there. All right, you're all set?
Made a mess.
Oh, it's all good. Thank you. Four are together, these two are separate.
Carl, he came between 5 and 6.
Hey, Carl.
They're separate, these four are together.
Tonight.
Also, I brought this over here.
That shoe is at home,
Joe.
yeah. Or no, right there.
I brought this over here today.
I'm just talking about.
Just
Oh, no, it wasn't.
because
They
seeing
did
as
not
though
play.
we
They're
are
playing tomorrow.
basically full, and I'm not sure how much after.
No, good,
I
because
will
I live
be
near
saying
Manly
2 minute
Field
warning,
House. And
Oh,
all the traffic after the game.
so that,
All right, let's get on the way then.
No, it's that pit, though.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Syracuse City Board of Assessment Review. It is Tuesday, February 18th. The time is
5:10.
5:10 p.m., 5:10 p.m. And I just wanted to remind everybody that these meetings are recorded, audio and videotaped, and they are, you can see it live on YouTube, and then you can plug in the date and go back and review the session as well. So just so you're aware. When you do come up, if you could just make sure you're speaking into the microphone here. We have two if there's two parties in the grievance. And I'll take a roll call. My name is Joe Saya.
Sue Straub.
Carl Masterpole.
Bill Ryan.
Great, thank you. Okay, so it looks like we have the first one is 355 Buckingham Avenue. If you want to just come on up and have a seat. How are you?
Good, thanks for being here.
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna swear you in before you get started. And Tom, I'll swear you in at the same time. You've already been sworn?
Yeah,
At?
I mean, yes,
Oh, I see.
that's okay. All right.
So we don't have to, once you're sworn in, you don't have to, okay.
But I'll do it again.
Do it
Yeah,
again.
I think we should anyway, yeah. Because I think I've been,
Okay.
as far as Ann or Matt or Joe.
Well, I'm different from them. But
What's
yes,
that?
I'm different from
Yes, you are. Okay, and so you're just here for one property, 355 Buckingham Ave. Okay, so if you could raise your right hand, Tom as well. State your name for the record.
Emily Freeman?
Thomas Johnson.
You both affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability. Okay, very good. So let me read this property in. And I'll read some information in. And then I'll turn it over to you. We'll go to the city after that, and then I'll come back to you. So once again, 335 Buckingham Avenue. 355 Buckingham Avenue. This is primary home residence. You live there? Okay. And so we have a current tentative assessed value of $131,000 with a land value of $13,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $203,130, and that would be an assessed value of $116,800. So let me just see if there's any more information here. Looks like you paid $162,500 November 8th of 2020. It was a mortgage situation. And what else can we tell here? And then we've got some information. I won't go into reading it. I'll assume you're going to explain some stuff. And, okay. So let me turn it over to you. Yes.
Yeah, so really, I don't have photos. I don't have any kind of that sort of information. My case here for myself is that I did pay $162,500 in November of 2020, which was only 4 years ago. The proposed increase for full market value is over 40%, which seems like a lot. And I moved from Madison County, so I wasn't totally aware of the tax rates that we do here in the city of Syracuse. So like it used to be 62.5%, and now we're down to 57.5%, right?
That's right.
I'm assuming that's going to go up over the years. So full market value is going to matter at some point. So I'm not disputing that home values have gone up, right? Like I do think that they have. I know that they have. I see homes selling in my neighborhood. But I'm asking for a tempered increase based on my purchase price, which was only 4 years ago. And it wasn't a friend, it wasn't anybody they knew. Like it literally was, I put an offer in on a house, and they took that offer. I know that the median increase is 15% over the city. So essentially, I'm asking for a 15% increase on my purchase price from 4 years ago.
So you said the median increase was 15%, and that's across the whole city? How about, did you look at your area?
So my area, mine right now is 19%. That was what my increase, you can do the numbers on that. I have a neighbor next to me that I looked up that was at 17%, and another neighbor that was around 17%, so between 16 and 19 in my neighborhood, which is the university area.
And yours was 41% increase.
So that's a full assess. So my technical increase was 19%. But if we're talking about full assessed value, which is kind of what matters to me, because I know that this tax rate is not going to stay at 57.5 for the rest of my life at this house. So I'm more concerned with the fact that I bought it for $162,500, and the full assessed value is going to $227,000, which is a pretty substantial increase.
Yeah. And there is discussion and/or decisions been made that there's going to be a full citywide assessed value in 27 or 28. So that will bring everything back to 100%.
Yes.
So you're correct in that. Have you done anything to the property since you purchased it?
I have not.
Okay.
No, you can look on Google Maps. It looks exactly the same as it looked 4 years ago.
Okay. All right. So, Tom, when was this looked at prior to, this was an increase in assessment for 2025. Do you recall when it was looked at prior?
No, I got the information from the gentleman who is the assessor for the area. He gave me a list of comparable sales. I really don't know if there was an increase in any years, within the last 2 to 3 years of this one being reassessed. I know that they've reviewed the area this, last year for this year, and that's what brought about, the increase.
Who handles this area?
Joe.
Joe, okay. Okay.
I will say that the property is worth more now than what it was when, at the time of purchase. That's, 4 years from that point in time. Values up in the university area, especially in that area, have gone up significantly.
Yeah, don't dispute that. Is there a way to, and I think this is the first time I've ever asked this, but is there a way to throw this type of increase over a couple of years?
You could, but then it would look like we're retaliating, especially if somebody comes in and comes to the board of review, and the board of review gives them some relief, and then we go back out and reassess it. We don't like to do that as a matter of policy. It does happen from time to time, especially if there's a significant increase in property values, but generally we try not to go out year after year after year reassessing properties.
No, right. What my thought was, is there an agreement that can be made between the city and the homeowner, that like a stipulation, if you will, where it's going to go to this year, and then it's automatically going to go to next year? I don't think she's disputing the value. I think she's more concerned with the percentage in 1 year. Am I correct?
Yeah, I am disputing the value a bit too, right? So I bought the house for $162,500, and the full assessed value was $176,000 when I bought it, and that never changed, right? So I bought a house for $162,500, and then it stayed at $176,000, which is what the increase was based on. And so I feel like if we're talking numbers, again, I'm not disputing that home values have not gone up. Like I know that they have, but I'm asking for a more fair increase in assessment based on the purchase price of my house, because right now it's 19% increase based on that $176,000, which when I bought my house, like that's even over what I purchased my home for.
Right. The only thing I can tell you is that I'm sure that your home is worth more than what you paid for it.
Perhaps, right? But you don't know that until you put it on the market,
Well,
right? Like, and again,
yeah,
I'm not disputing that home values haven't gone up. I'm asking for what I would consider a more fair reassessment increase, rather than doing 19% off of $176,000, which isn't even what I paid for my house.
Yeah.
Let me just explain. What happens is when our equalization rate goes down, the indicated value of the property increases. If our rate hadn't changed, it would have come out to a $209,600 value. When our rate dropped down to 57.5, it jacked up the indicated value, because it's just a mathematical computation. And I know it's difficult for homeowners to accept. And as far as getting back to your question, can we do an agreement to go out? Well, we would have to. I know our guys in the law department, would tell us no, you can't do that. But then we would have to do it. It would set a precedent. We'd have to do it for every residential property owner and commercial property, all 40-some-odd thousand parcels.
Well, maybe something where there's an increase over and above a certain amount, so to speak.
2 minutes.
Okay.
The percentages will vary, and I know that you've heard testimony previously, where they've said, well, the percentage increase is 15%, so my assessment shouldn't go up 15%. The problem is when you're valuing each property as an individual parcel, and you put X number of dollars value on it, that percentage, what's going out throughout the city goes right out the window because there's individual factors, that affect every property. I'm not going to, argue that, that we have it down to an exact science. Whatever the board determines, if they want to give the taxpayer some relief, that's the board's determination, not mine. I can give you the comparables that the assessor for the area
Yeah, I
gave to
understand.
me, and you all can make, make judgment, judge the case on that. I just know that it's not worth what she paid for it 4 years ago.
Right. I understand that, and I think she does too.
Whatever the board feels is fair, that's your call.
Okay. So the city's given us some comps, which we'll take a look at, of course. Do you have anything other than this letter here as far as submission?
Nope, that's all I have.
Okay.
Based on the
Okay. All right, so we'll study this, of course, and what the city has provided as well, and then we'll make a decision, and then the city will send out a notice first week of April. Is there anything you want to add?
Nope, I
I
appreciate
think
you
I
being here.
understand your position, and does anybody else have any questions? Good? Okay, all right.
Thank
And
you
then,
for your
yeah,
time.
thank you for coming in, and the city will send you a notice first week of April. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, then we have 139 Robino Road. How are you? Good, good, thank you. You're just here for the one property, correct? Okay. Okay. If you, I'm just gonna swear you in. Yep. Yep, beautiful, thank you.
It's been a long day.
You've been paying attention.
It's been a long day, trust me.
If you could state your name for the record.
David Durfee?
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
I do.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so 139 Robino Road, this is a residential one-family?
One family.
And
One,
you live there?
yep, lived
Okay.
there with the wife and the son.
Okay, very good. Robino is a very nice road. Current tentative assessed value, $100,000, with a land value of $17,200. So it looks like from your petition, you believe the market value is in between 136.8 and 149,
We had
130?
136.8 was the full market value from last June from a SCAR hearing.
Okay,
So we had that. The house needs a lot of work. We're trying to work on it, but more things break.
okay, so just,
Yep.
just so I understand, so you're looking to, you believe the fair market value now is 136.8?
No, it was 136.8 last June.
Okay,
It went up to 178 or 173. I think it's more like a 10% increase, not a 28%
okay,
or 9%.
I see, all
Yep.
right. So you're, is this assessed value based off of the 149, 130 then?
Based off of 173 or 174, whatever that was.
Okay. Well, Michelle, what's assessed value on 136.8?
136.8.
Yeah. I venture to say it's gonna be this. All right, how
I
about,
went to, it was a 173 was the new full market value.
right, I
I
understand.
figured I took my 136.8, made it up 9%, which I think is a fair increase, not a 28% increase.
Okay,
And then bumped it up to an even number, because I know they like even numbers in taxes.
okay. So,
It makes bookkeeping easier not to have pennies in fours and threes.
yes, I get that. What's the assessed value on 149, 130?
That's the 85,750.
Okay. Wanted to get my bearings is all. Okay.
I wanted to make it easy for the 750. I figured it was,
Yeah, so so what you're saying is that you're comfortable with
Yeah.
a market value of the
did you
149,
get that? Did you
130?
get that? I put it
Yeah,
all in
but
a-
I haven't-
Okay,
we-
cool.
we-
You just haven't got to it yet, bud.
Yeah, we haven't actually, let's see here, 'cause this looks pretty thin. No, I didn't get that. So after you're done,
Well, I'll hand it to you right now.
okay.
And you got the SCAR hearing from last time, right?
Let's take a look here. I think I
If you don't, I'll have it. Oh, there, you get,
Yeah, okay, I
and
do
you got the
have
letter
it.
too.
Yep, okay. And then this here is the, Mr. Gradenza. Okay, I do have everything. So you said that,
We're trying to get the house fixed up so when I retire in 5 years and my wife retires, that we could probably sell it for what the true market value is.
okay,
It needs pipes, it needs electrical, it needs foundation work, retaining wall.
now when you say you're trying, so you purchased it in,
2000, about 20 years ago, 2005, was
yep,
it?
2005, April 21st for 85,000 cash deal. Okay. And what have you done since then?
Siding and a roof, and we've got the plumbing fixed in the basement. We need to do the plumbing upstairs. In fact, it was last year this time I lost the the lead piping in the ceiling went out, so I got that patch. That's got to get ripped out and replaced. So the sewage pipes replaced. So that's all got JB Weld on it right now. I need plumbing. And I had photos from when we did the SCAR hearing. The house needs a lot of work, but we didn't know that when we bought it. We just wanted to buy in, get into the city, use the Star Pro, not Star, what's it? Say yes for the kid.
Yep, okay.
And
Let me
once
just
you
take,
start opening up old houses, they turn into money pits. And then interest rates went up and you're stuck.
just read over your commentary.
On the positive side, my water line is copper. I know, I was one of the random ones. Every neighbor on the street
Yeah,
is not copper. Well, the neighbors on both sides are not copper, so.
correct.
I'm very pleased. I went down there
They've been
and I'm
built
like,
at the same time.
I have no idea what happened, but I have a copper one.
Wonder if somebody replaced it over the years. That's probably it.
I was looking for the photos of the house and I saw the photos of the water line. I'm like, ooh, 'cause I remember I sent it into the city. It said unknown. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's copper.
Might have blown at some point, and the current homeowner at the time dug it up. So Tom, is this yours or Joe's?
Michael, I'm doing everybody's
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
I drew the short
I was saying, you
straw.
got stuck in this nice cold night out there.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was lowered for 24, 25. I'm assuming that's from the SCAR hearing.
sounds like it.
And then the assessor for the area reviewed the area and increased it by $14,500 or a 17% increase. He left me some comparable sales that he used in making his determination. The problem that we have is since we don't have access to houses unless people invite us in, if there's a number of things that affect the value, like the interior condition and things that have to be repaired, we're not aware of.
Well, I should have brought those 2 inches of photos I brought to the SCAR
No.
hearing. Okay.
No,
I know you're-
I'm not- no, I'm not
I'm
saying
just
no.
saying,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah,
Well, that
yeah,
might
the
have
more
helped.
information you provide the board,
okay.
it's easier for them to have something to verify that, yeah, the house needs work. I'm not gonna, dispute that the house does need work. I know when I used to have this area, when I drove by the house, first time I said, geez, they got this house really looking nice, and that was probably
It
after
was
you
the,
did
it was the siding. We
And
did
the-
the side, because the siding, it was It was $6,000 to paint the house and $3,000 to side it.
Yeah, I remember.
And all my neighbors yelled at me for siding the house, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, we took all this woodwork and encased it in, my guy bent metal around it. He did a great job. He said, I can do this, the house for cheaper than you can paint it.
So this is Michael's, all right. Are you able to submit those pictures?
I've got some, I think I got some on the phone. Can I, if I can mail them to you, I have no problem. I'll share them to you on Google.
Send it to Jennifer, Michelle.
Yeah, let's do that, because I want to take a look at them, and then if necessary, we can get Michael, the assessor, and chat
And I'll
with
show
him
you,
a little bit.
that's my overhead sewage pipe, the waste pipe from the ceiling. That's now JB welded. Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you can,
Yeah, I'll send you everything, yeah.
yes, that would be good. And then this way, because normally we would say, hey, let's do a walkthrough.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do that. Just get us
I
the
will send,
pictures
I will
if you
send you
would.
pictures, and some of the outdoor ones were taken last year, but no work's been done, so.
All right.
This
And-
has JB Weld on it. I can show you pictures of that. I can show you before and after. That's holding it until we can get somebody in there. Because the plumbing's got to be done, the electrical's got to be done. The last water main break up the street clogged one of the galvanized pipes upstairs, so it's barely flowing, but that's a whole different problem.
Okay.
I will
Don't
send
take
you-
this the wrong way, but
You got to prove it. I got to prove it.
well, yeah, but what's the holdup?
Well, money? It's running into money. Something just breaks all the time,
Okay.
you know? Nothing's getting any cheaper.
Well, it seems like the plumbing, though,
The
that's
plumbing
kind of
that
serious.
just went, that went last year at this time, and we're gonna do the whole thing. We do it, the water lines upstairs, if they're gonna cut the ceiling out, do it all at once, replace all the plumbing
Okay.
upstairs, so.
Hey,
That runs into a huge bill by the time you
Sure.
figure the drywall, well, excuse me, the drywall in and everything to fix the ceiling, so.
And that's fine. I had to ask the question,
yeah.
but I don't dispute
No,
your
I'd
answer.
rather buy once and cry once. I can fix the lead pipe for the waste drain, but you might as well do the tub, you might as well do the other
Yeah.
one. And then if we're gonna rip the ceiling up, bring the water lines up and run those in, run either copper or PEX up there and have it one and done.
100%.
And probably have an open ceiling for a year till we can have that fixed.
Okay. No, that's fine. So the city submitted some comps, which we'll take a look at.
Okay.
Your pictures would be very important.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and
I'll get the
Michelle.
email address?
Yeah, and then from there, we'll take everything, consider everything, and then we'll send you a notice first week of April. The city will.
Yep, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Have a good night, drive safe. Yeah,
you
thank
too, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
When you come to your final decisions, use multiples of 500, please.
Yes.
On your final
Good
determination.
reminder. I think we may have been doing that, but okay, if not. Good reminder. Okay.
That's fair, yeah.
Assess right.
I mean, if you calculate it out and it comes to $123,266, go bump up to 500. Or down.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. No worries there, and, okay. So now we've got, 3 properties here.
Four.
4, yep. We have 4 properties here. This gentleman here, okay. Michelle, you want this, or,
Pass.
how are you, sir?
Well,
I'm gonna swear you in, but is there any particular order that you want to do these in?
if we do the vacant lots first, probably.
Okay,
Um,
so that's gonna be,
Ellenson.
200 Lanson and 213.
yeah, so 105 Allenson and 107 Allenson?
Yes,
And
Okay,
213 Ravenel.
yes.
okay. I don't have 213 Robino, yes, I do.
She,
Okay,
Just trying not to take too much of your time.
Yes, she's too efficient for me. 213. Okay, well, we'll take it in the order. We'll do 210 Rabineau last. Let me just make a note here. And then I'll swear you in. As per your request, we'll do the lots first. And then 210. Okay, very good. So if you, yep, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. State your name for the record.
Doug Pinnell.
Do you affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
I do.
Okay, great. So let's start off with 213 Rabineau. I'm just going to read it in, and what I'll do, I think the two on Allenson are probably the same argument, so I'll read those two in together, and then 210 after that.
You're very nice, and you'll have to help me a little bit. Jim normally took care of this stuff, and he passed away, so I'm trying to.
Sure. I'm sorry to hear that. Who's Jim?
Jim Shepard.
Uh-huh. And then what's his relation to you?
We were partners.
Oh, okay. All right. And
Great.
so Jim took care of this,
Yes.
and, yeah, no
He was
problem.
co-owner, so.
Yep, no problem. And so, okay,
I'm not sure I filled the paperwork out right.
that's okay. We'll go through it, make sure everything's okay. 213 Rabineau Road, this is a vacant lot,
The vacant lot,
okay? And so the current assessed value is 21,000 with a land value of 21,000. That sound about right? That's what I have on the sheet also.
I'm sorry, yeah, it is 21,000.
Okay. And the petitioner believes the fair market value is 15,000, which would be an assessed value of $8,625. Okay.
so I was really just looking for it not to go up, so I'm not sure I filled the paperwork out right.
So you wanted the assessed value to be 15,000?
Well, I was looking for it to stay the same.
As
So-
as
so-
last year?
Yes.
Okay. What was it last year?
15,000.
Was the market value?
Market value is 26,000.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's figure this out.
I can give you the exact numbers for 15,000.
All right, hold that thought for a second. So, just to clarify, you filled it out as such that the 15,000 was the market value, not the assessed value. So, if it doesn't change from last year to this year, then the assessed value would be 15,000 instead of proposed assessed value of 21,000.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to do two things here, and then I'll have you initial. Michelle, just the assessed value on, I'm sorry, the market value on 15,000.
26,087.
26,087.
I'm going to assume that the other ones are the same situation, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get them all figured out for when we.
Okay, excellent. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and I'll explain to you what I did. So you had filled it out as 15,000 market value, but it's actually, you were thinking it was 15,000 assessed value. And then that would bring the market value to 26,087. Well, forget that for a minute.
This is just keeping it the same.
Yep, if you're requesting to keep it the same at $15,000 assessed value.
Right. Well, yes, I'm just requesting, because I don't know that the value of the land has gone up
Yeah.
that much, so I'm just looking to keep it the same.
Very good. If you could just put your initials right there. And we'll do this on the other three also. Okay, so, Tom, any thoughts? This was an increase, I'm assuming?
It was increased by the assessor, $6,000 increase in the assessment. It is a buildable city lot, which does have, some value, and it's a nice very nice neighborhood.
On the side of a hill. So if you look at the paper that actually, Jim had drawn that, it's only, that's the street level is the red part, and then the rest of it is just the side of a hill.
I'm familiar with the
Oh,
area.
interesting. Okay, so the street, so you're saying that, I mean, it's still buildable. You know,
Right, but-
you'd build maybe with a walkout basement or something, but the point is that,
Well, no, you can do a walkout basement because the side of the hill goes down to the neighbor's property.
okay,
So, well, I mean, a walkout basement would go into the neighbor's property.
well, okay. So, but just so I'm understanding it, we got the street here, this is street level, and then it terraces down,
It drops down.
it drops down.
It does. I know the area well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, and with,
So when you say a buildable lot,
it is a
sounds
buildable lot, with the right,
square footage wise.
with the right type of construction, you can build anything. I know when I had my house built, I had the same situation, so
Oh, yeah.
I know it can be done. It's just
Okay.
a lot more costly.
Okay, all right. So I think we're on the same page
Yeah, this
there.
is Michael's area. He's ran some comparable sales of vacant land on all three of these, so, I can just submit them all, give you all three of them.
Okay. But if you guys could make a note of, any chance of getting a picture of this lot?
Send you one.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We probably could do, it's probably on Google Maps.
Yeah. I can't remember, I didn't label them unfortunately, but these are the two side by side on Allenson.
Okay,
And I do have to mention that there was a taxpayer several years ago that corrected me. It's Alonson, not Allenson, but
yeah. He said it that way, yeah. Do you have a picture of,
right.
well, the Robino is what we're talking about.
No, not Robino.
Well,
I know
I'll put those
Robin-
in a file,
And
but-
that, Robino does drop off sharply. That I do know.
Okay. All right, you got that noted.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put those in, yep, exactly.
The lots were combined in a re-subdivision, it'd be a lot more valuable.
Well, that's, I'm not,
Does this help
we're
you
not
at
on
all?
Allenson yet, but,
That's Google Maps.
yeah, are you telling me that that's about the extent of it and then it drops off?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Giving you what the assessor gave me.
okay. I would know that we should talk to Mike. That's basically the road and, I don't know how far it goes back. Then you're, okay, that's good. I'm glad you showed me that. Okay. You do not have to send me a picture of that.
Okay.
Well, actually, would you? If it's not too much
Sure.
trouble?
Sure.
It'd be good to have it in the file.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
Address?
So then we'll talk to the assessor on that one. Okay. So let me read both Allenson in. We have the pictures as well. So, Michelle, I just want to go over these numbers whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. So 105 Alanson, current tentative assessed value 16,000 with a land value of 16,000. The petitioner believes that the assessed value is 12.5.
Would make the full market 21,739.
1,739 is the market value. Okay. Okay. So we've got 12.5. So if you're looking for no increase, then it would be 12,500. Okay, good. Thank you. And just staying with this, 107 Alanson. Current tentative assessed value 13.5 with a land value of 13.5. Petitioner believes the assessed value should be 12.5. And therefore, that would be a market value of, is that the same thing? Yeah, 21,739. Okay, so I'm going to have you initial that also. Okay, good. All right, so,
I do have a question for you.
yes.
Jim had told me at one time that one of those lots was not large enough to build on. And you seem to have that information. Do you know if that's true?
As long as the lot has at least 40 feet of frontage and adequate total square footage, you can build on it. You're just restricted as far as sideline setbacks and the size of the house. You couldn't, on a lot that's, 60 by 100, you couldn't put a 5,000 square foot house. They wouldn't allow that. But something that would, that the lot density.
What is the lot size on these two?
You've got them right.
Oh, you gave, okay, I'm sorry. This is 105, okay, good. So this is 56 by 156, so that one's certainly buildable. This one here is,
I think there's a difference in the frontage, and the assessor, when he made his increases, he recognized that there's a difference in the frontage and didn't bring them up to the same value.
okay.
But
Right,
pictures,
is it worth-
47 by 142 is the
What is
other
it?
one. 47 by 142,
Okay.
so that would be okay too.
I just wondered, he had told me that, and,
Yeah, that's, no, good question.
the pictures that I gave you are those two lots on Allenson side by side.
Right, right. So this one here, like you were saying, subdivision or what have you. I can take these two.
it would be hard to build on them though, wouldn't it?
Not from what I saw.
Okay.
But I'm not I know construction, but I'm
Well,
not.
it looks fairly flat and,
Some gentle
Yeah,
slope.
but it's got this, like, the one has this hill up off the street, it's up like, you have to do like a garage or something underneath.
I'd say given the space, you've got almost 100 feet of frontage, right? And over 103,
Between the two,
yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean.
Well, I mean, if you put them together, it'd be, yeah.
you know, and I would assume easy peasy because they're not right next to each other, so. Okay.
Right in the curve.
What's that?
It's right in the curve. I don't know if you know that street. It's really a narrow street. It's like a 2-car street. So,
Okay, no, I don't, but I'm gonna get familiar with it.
Here, I got a tax map. It might be hard to read if I can if you can read the lot numbers on there, there is a curve, but they are side by side. And with, with that amount of frontage, you can easily position a house on that lot.
If you put them together, it would be,
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I'll put this in the file, Tom.
Yep, that's yours.
All right, very good. Okay, anything you want to add?
no, just looking to kind of keep status quo for right now.
All right. Okay, I think we have enough information there. So we'll go on to 210 Robino Road. Is this your home?
No, it's the house next door. We did live there first, and then we moved next door, and that house and my house have the shared backyard. So
Okay.
that was the reason for wanting to keep it. So we had rented it, and then we had it needed some work, but then we had issues with a tenant. It's a two-family, and the downstairs is still rented, but the upstairs, when we had a problem getting the tenant out, it took a while to get the tenant out with the way the courts were. And then once we got in there, because we found that there was a lot of damage. So we hadn't decided what we were doing with it. Here's some pictures of condition of the apartment.
So let me just read some things in here, and then I'll
Okay.
ask a couple questions on
Okay.
the pictures. So 210 Robino Road, current tentative assessed value 131,000, with a land value of 22,000. So here, I have initials here. So it looks like the current, well, last year's assessed value was 110,200, I believe.
So again, right now, if we could just I'd just be looking to keep it the same, so.
All right, so that's the request. What's the market value on 110,000, please?
191,652.
191,652?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so let me just look at a couple things here, and then I've got a few questions for you. Paid 91.5 in 1986, so you were at, what's your address that you live at?
204.
All right, 204, and then this probably came up, and you said,
No, this property was first, we lived there, and then 204 came up, and we moved next door.
great. Okay. Then once you moved next door, you started renting it?
Yes.
Okay. And it sounds like it probably, when did you buy 204?
87.
Oh, okay. So you were renting it for many years,
Yes.
and then you unfortunately had a bad one,
Yes.
sounds like. Okay. And so how long has it been vacant?
A year and a half, I think.
Okay. So it's been vacant for a year and a half. We've got pictures.
October 23.
Okay. So what's your plan time frame wise?
Well, I'm not really sure because in the interim, Jim passed away and none of that is settled. So,
Sorry to hear that.
so it's still, everything is still kind of it's been a rough 6 months.
Okay,
So everything is still up in the air.
okay. And could I see some of those pictures?
Sure.
Are these for us to hold on to? or
I
no?
didn't bring extra copies, I apologize. If you want to take a few that, for examples, that would be fine.
Yeah, I don't know that we even have to do that, but let me just ask you, so is this, when were these pictures taken?
Most of them
September
were probably
18th?
taken in October of '23.
Okay, all right. I got a date, but maybe that's when you printed them. Okay,
Both units vacant?
The downstairs is not, that's a small one, and then the upstairs is vacant,
What's the rent on the first floor,
600 a month.
plus utilities?
She pays heat, and I pay the rest. Or she pays heat and electric, and I pay water.
okay. So you had a tenant in there, and how long was the eviction process?
I started in July of '22, not realizing that it had changed, because I went to the New York State Attorney General's website and they said, you serve the paper. And then when I went to court, they said, you have to
We
have
don't
the
to get
marshal
into
do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then by the time the marshal did it and then the delays, it was October of '23 by the time we got her out.
And has it been cleaned, or are these pictures
I've
are?
cleaned it. I haven't done any of the repairs.
Okay.
I mean, the kitchen needs repaired. There's ceilings that need repair. Again,
Can't give it an unfinished, Tom, because somebody lives in the other unit. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
If the house were, both units were vacant because of the condition, we could give you an unfinished assessment and lower it artificially to give you time, to fix the house up. But since you've got a tenant in there, there's nothing that we can do. The board can recognize the condition of the second floor in its deliberations.
Yeah. Yes. I think we can do that. Actually, can I have the pictures back? Because I better keep a few
Sure.
just to, for the file.
And I apologize, I didn't bring you pictures of, like, the kitchen, but,
Well, that's the other thing too. I mean,
I had to, if you see in there the refrigerator, I actually had to throw that away.
oh, I'm sure, along with whatever else. Yeah, and actually, these pictures aren't really gonna, wow. Refrigerator. Yeah, this person was a slob.
It was more than that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Feeling all
And
better?
unfortunately, there was a whole lot more that went with it too, but
Yeah, yeah, basically I'm not gonna keep any because there's nothing
No problem.
of
Completely
substance for
understand.
us, which is, once it's clean, that's it. So in that regard, we don't dispute the condition. You're saying that their kitchen and bath needs to be updated?
yes,
Yeah, okay. What does the other tenant pay?
600 a month.
600, and what is included utility-wise?
Water, hot water. She pays the electric and the heat.
Okay. That's 600. How many bedrooms is that?
She uses it as 2 bedrooms, because it has a large hallway that she uses as her living room, and then what was the living room she uses as a bedroom, but it's really 1 bedroom.
Okay. One bedroom, and how about downstairs?
That is the
Okay,
downstairs.
how about upstairs?
I'm sorry?
What's the upstairs? How many bedrooms?
2.
Two. Two bona fide.
Yeah.
Okay, so downstairs is really one bedroom. She's using it as two, but setup-wise, it's one bedroom, and upstairs is two bedroom.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Okay. Anybody else want to ask any questions at this point? Okay.
Just,
Yeah.
just a quick note,
Yes.
unless when they did the original reval, we've got this property, it's almost a 2,800 square foot property, and that bedroom configuration doesn't sound accurate. Maybe on the
There's
first.
another floor, but it's closed off, so.
Another, like the attic?
Well, the building has been added onto, so there are the 2 other rooms upstairs, but it's closed off.
So
because
it
of
is
the
a
re-
fairly big house.
Yes.
Okay. There's some comparables that the assessor for the area submitted.
Good. Okay. So the only, I understand the time frame and all that. If we did offer some relief because of the current condition of the second floor, it's not something that's gonna last forever.
Right. Right.
So it's something that, but I understand the state, it sounds like you're still dealing with that.
Yeah. Nothing is settled.
Yeah.
Nothing is, yeah.
Okay.
And doesn't look like it's gonna get, his siblings have not signed off, so.
Okay, yep, I got you.
So that's the holdup.
Sure, understood. An attorney is working on it and all that good stuff.
Just waiting on the siblings.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And the other part has damage to it too, that, so, the other 2 rooms you're talking about has damage to the,
That's why you closed it off.
yes.
All right, very good. We will take into consideration everything that you have said as well as the city comps, and there'll be some discussions here.
Thank you very much.
And then the city will send you separate notices first week of April.
Okay,
And then we'll take it from
thank you very much.
there. Yeah, thank you for coming in. How you been? You're not being very nice to me, Marco. I'm not being nice to you? No, they aren't.
You're underappreciated.
I'll tell you.
You're a gem, Joe.
See that? All right. All these lawyers in the room, Okay, so let's go with 326 East Martin Luther King, what is that? Road, street, boulevard? Street. 7. How are you, sir?
This is a nonprofit.
Oh, okay. How are you? Good. Just gonna make a note here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, swear you in, then I'll read the property in, then we'll have a conversation, and we'll take it from there. Okay, and this is, for a full tax exemption? Okay, If you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Evan Tucker.
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability? Okay. All right, so we have, I'll read some numbers in, but 326 East Martin Luther King Street, I believe.
Yes,
And
326 Leon Street, corner.
corner of Leon? Okay. And so, I see it here, I'm sorry, Leon Street. It's a vacant lot.
Right.
Okay. Current tentative assessed value of $3,600 with a land value of $3,600. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $3,600, but you're seeking a full exemption, okay, on the taxes. So let me just take a look at a couple other things while I thumb through. Okay, and you signed it. Okay, okay. And then there's a letter in here, let me just take a peek here. Tucker Missionary Baptist Church is requesting an appeal of the exemption denial. Okay, so it was a denial. And property in question has been tax exempt since 1994. Property has been sole use, church usage. Okay, so this is a lot. This has been used for overflow and event parking, along with fundraising activities, and so on and so forth. Yeah, if you would. It says something about a 15-foot container on the lot,
We have a storage container.
a storage container on the lot that houses church, additional church items. Is that this back here?
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to look at it upside down.
Right, but is this the storage?
Oh, yeah, back in the corner.
Okay. All right, so that's back there. Is that on this lot?
Yes.
Okay, I see that. And so, how often, where, is the church in this picture also?
No, the church is on the other side of the red house.
On the other side of the
Right.
red
And that
house?
fence that you see is part of our fence, which we tore down
Okay,
back in the corner by the shed.
okay. And that's how you access it through there, or no?
Well, yeah, if we get parking, but when we do like event parking, maybe for SU or something like that, we just walk up the hill. Or some people just walk around the sidewalk.
What do you mean SU? What does that mean?
Like if they have a game, we might have parking.
Really?
That doesn't constitute church use.
Oh, it doesn't? No. So you're renting out the lot for,
We're not renting out the lot.
you don't charge for the parking?
Yeah.
You do charge? Okay. So that sounds like income's coming in. No, I know that, but what I want to know is, yes, which is what you're going to ask. What, how many times a year does it get used?
These are probably around, it's more during the summer, spring and summer. I would have to say maybe 20 times. We have fall festival, the spring festival, which brings in a lot of people, and they're just parking different areas, and that's no charge.
So about 20 times a year for an event at the church, you're saying, it's like overflow.
Okay. And then, maybe SU home games or something.
Yeah, we haven't, I think we've done one game and pink concert, but other than that, we haven't.
Okay. Tom, anything you want to add?
I don't want to be the one to speak against the church, but, no, what happens is a number of vacant lots throughout the city that were owned by various churches and not-for-profits were reviewed and their exemptions were denied because it wasn't being specifically used for church activities. The fact that you said you do rent it out on a per-car basis for SU kind of takes that out of that category. Is the lot paved? Because the picture that I saw showed there was all grass. Gravel? Okay.
If they're using it 20 times a year for a church event parking and then twice a year for an SU event, how do you decide whether that is?
Well, you determine the percentage of use.
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
That's where I always come from.
Yeah.
There's no way that this property should be fully exempt.
It
Based
shouldn't be
on the
very much
usage.
exempt for 2 days a year either. I mean, it shouldn't be very much taxed for 2 days a year.
How much do you
Well,
charge
no,
per car?
know what I mean?
the other 332 days a year is not being used.
Well, he said they're using it for church overflow, at least 20 times a year, so.
Right, so my point is that, you know,
Just one part. I just don't want the church to be punished for something I didn't know.
no, the church is not being punished. What I'm getting at is that, if there's an exemption, it should be proportionate to how much it's being used. And what you're saying is that it's being used 20 times a year. Forget the SU thing. You're saying that it's being used 20 times a year, right? And there's 365 days in a year. So, you know, I'm asking you, why should it be exempt fully if it's only being used 20 times a year?
That's a good question. It's always difficult to say what and how often something's used. I think that we do a lot in our community, and I just think
If it's overflow parking, you use it when you have overflow parking, otherwise you don't, right? I mean, that's,
Yeah, it's kind of cut and dry, but okay. Anything else you want to add?
How many cars, if it was an SU event, how many cars normally would park there? Okay, let's see. That's two,
So
that's,
what's your position with the church? Are you the pastor or?
no, I'm the chairman of the trustee board.
that generates $225 in income twice a year. That's $450. That's kind of nominal to me. You know, when it comes my time to answer to Peter, you know, I don't want to be the one he said, "Oh yeah, geez, Tom, you argued against the church." You know, I'm trying to give a little levity
that'll be,
here.
you can point at Joe when that time.
Yeah,
It's him.
I mean,
yeah.
not much.
We are at 2 minutes.
There's a lot of point in me.
But just to be, I'm sorry,
Yeah, go.
just to be clear, so what days do you have services?
We have services. It varies because we have a lot of different things. We have service on Wednesday and Sunday. Then we might have a community event where whatever's coming out.
Wednesday and Sunday you have service.
Yes.
And do you need this lot for Wednesday and Sunday service?
Sometimes.
And how many, how much parking do you have at the church? How many spaces? 75?
I don't know exactly. I never really
Right.
got to the space, so I can't really tell.
50 to 75 parking spaces.
Assuming, I don't know. I just don't quote me on that.
Do you have a survey
Okay.
of the property? Because that might be able to help us. Oh, I think you do. Okay, good. Can we make a copy of this? Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's a good sized lot. Okay. So you're guesstimating 50 to 75,
No
but
problem.
we can do a measurement on the survey also. Yeah, it's a, you know, that's, and it's not just you, just so you know. That's been my issue for a while, and now with the city going out and denying a lot of these, we're looking at it a little closer, right? Because as you said, it's a good question. You know, I mean, you know, if there's some sort of exemption, it really should be based on the usage throughout the year, right? So,
We're at time.
okay. Anything else you want to add?
The exemption was denied because it was considered not being used for church purposes. You know, if the board determines that it is, I don't think the income generated from the SU events amounts to anything significant that would, in my mind, would alter it from being, you know, predominantly used for church purposes. I actually have gone to one or two services over the years over at Tucker, and I know the place gets packed.
Okay. Okay.
Sleep easy tonight.
You got me shaking over here.
No, this Ann handles all the not-for-profits, so you may want to talk to her. But
Yeah, I think and it was denied because you assumed that it wasn't being used?
yeah,
Okay. All right.
because usually when they're using it for church purposes and they say on their application it's used for parking, and you don't see a paved lot, you know, runner crush doesn't necessarily, you know, hold up. So you kind of assume that, you know, how can they use it for parking if it's grass and gravel?
Yeah. Again, though, I go on the record saying that my position is that the exemption should be proportionate to the amount of usage throughout the year. That's the you know, it's as far as the board's concerned, you know, we'll talk and make a decision, of course, but that's always been my feeling. So, we got a copy there, that's that. All right, so if there's nothing else you want to add, we will review everything that you've submitted, and as well as the city, and then we'll make a decision, and we'll send a notice first week of April. Yeah, thank you for coming in. Thank you. How are you, sir?
How are you?
Good, and yourself?
How are you? Good. Good to see it, I know, it's been a long time.
So you're here for
Yeah,
your principal residence?
My principal residence, yes. 101 Rugby. And I think that I have to do a little bit of housekeeping on my application. It was based on full market assessment.
Let me swear you in first.
Sure,
So we don't get into too much conversation yet. If you can raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Marco Marzocchi,
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
yes.
Okay. All right, so let me just read some numbers in and then we'll clean it up if we have to.
Okay.
We have a current tentative assessed value of $234,783, with a land value of $135,000.
That's the
No,
total.
no,
That's the total assessment.
that's, yeah, that,
The
I was
land
going to
is-
say it didn't sound right, but that's what's on here, so this is what we got to clean up.
Land is 17.6.
Okay. So let me go to the numbers here. Yeah, 234,783. Is the full market value.
what did you say that was?
Well, that's based on 135,000
That's the new
assessed
tentative.
value.
Yes, yep.
The 135 is the new tentative, right, okay. So we just move that over here. And then within that figure of 135,000 is a land value of 17,600.
Sorry about all this
No,
confusion.
no confusion. We just want to make sure we're basing the numbers correctly as to what you intended. So now let's get to what you intended. You believe that your market value is
That would be
176,480.
full market, right?
Full
So I
market
guess
value.
Based on the comp that I cited, that would be a tentative assessment of.
I have 101,650.
Well, mine was a little bit higher than that, quite frankly. I swore to tell the truth, right? So I came up with 113,400.
As far as your assessed value.
Correct.
Michelle, assessed value, I think I know why. Forgive me. Say again?
Yeah, he's right.
And that was, I think maybe this was based on, maybe the prior equalization rate, but, all right, so here's what we'll do. Michelle, you're saying, assessed value on 176,480 is what?
101,476.
I'll take that.
101,476. Okay, so just so the numbers are good, if you believe your house is worth 176,480, then that would be an assessed value of 101,476.
Okay.
You were thinking 113, but 101 probably sounds better. So if you would just initial that change there. Yeah, anywhere. Anywhere's good. Okay. So just so we're not confused, current tentative assessed value of 135,000 with a land value of 17,600. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 176,480, which would be an assessed value of 101,476. All right, so, and this is your principal residence. Just flipping through here. Tom, was this an increase in assessment?
Yes, it was. Yeah, the area was reviewed and it was increased by $24,000.
Okay, assessed value. Okay,
Bring it up to the 135 assessment.
all right. So,
No, this is mine.
oh, this is yours? Okay, good. I say good because you're here, as opposed to Joe and Mike. So, give us some feedback on where you're at here.
I just based it on my neighbor and its assessment. His tentative assessment is 135. The house is bigger, the lot's bigger, it's attached garage, 2-car. Mine's detached 1. I think,
You have
2
have
full
that
bath
information?
item.
You have that information?
I attached it on to the,
Okay. I don't think I saw it.
to the back of the application.
Okay. Yeah, okay, good. All right, excessive and unlawful because square footage of your house is excessive. Okay, so it's an inventory thing also. Did you bring a survey by chance?
I did not.
Okay, because that's how we would check it. Your inventory says 1,910, and he's got it down as 1,800 square feet.
That would come when the original revaluation was done. If they didn't let the person doing the inventory into the house or onto the property so they could measure it, they would estimate based on their training and what the size of the house is.
Okay. So, do we need to get a survey to confirm what's
A
what?
survey might help.
Okay. So, one of two things, we need to verify the 1,800 square feet, right? So one way of doing that is the survey. The other way to do it is if the assessor takes a walkthrough, then he'll do some measurements. We're off about 110 square feet.
I'm not going to quibble.
Can I correct? Unlawful assessment would be if we legally can't assess it. If this house was in the town of DeWitt, we legally can't assess it. That would be unlawful assessment.
Okay, that's fine. So basically, I think what he was saying, well, that was the opening, but he's saying excessive, and that's because the square footage difference. But you're saying that you're not too concerned about the 110 square feet?
Well, look at it, again, using my neighbor as the gauge,
Yeah.
okay? Who has a larger house, larger lot, 2 full baths where I have 1, he has a 2-car attached garage, I have a single detached garage. He's at tentative assessment of 135. Okay, so based on, and the house is larger, if I didn't say that. So the way I look at it is that, you know, based on the average tentative assessment per square foot.
Yeah, I see
On a
that.
better house, on a larger house,
What address is that?
1839 James Street, right next door.
That's assessed for 130.
That's assessed for 135. Exactly what mine is assessed for. So just on a straight square footage comparison, I got $63 on the tentative assessment for.
Yeah, the only thing to note,
But-
you know, again, and it's not a huge deal, but he's facing James, you're facing Rugby. So there's a little, in my opinion, a little more desire being on Rugby than James.
I might as well be on James.
I know you're close.
Yeah.
Okay. But basically, your comparison is on 1839 James. All right. What do you have, Tom?
It's pretty hard to ignore 103 Rugby that sold in July of '24 for $270, but I always bracket my comparable sales. What do I think the range is from low to high? And houses that are comparably sized, and you can always adjust for square footage, the 1-car garage compared to a 2-car garage, but those aren't significant line adjustments that any appraiser would do. You know, it's not like you're taking a 4-car garage, comparing it to a house with no garage. He's got a bath and a half. I've got a picture here, and I looked at properties that sold from 195 up to 270, which is next door. When you look at the assessment and compare it, the square footage to it, we don't value properties based on the square footage. That's just a mathematical computation that any assessor or appraiser would use. So to say that this house, it's assessed at X number of dollars per square foot, and it's a bigger house than mine, but it's assessed for less on a per square foot basis, The larger the square footage when you compare it to the assessment, the lower the per square foot value
Yeah,
is
it's,
going to
I mean,
be.
it's something
And
you
then you
use,
adjust for,
but
you
it's
adjust any
really
appraiser worth their
comps,
salt.
sales.
Well, I guess it's a guidance, but it's an
Yes.
objective guidance. Were you in 103? Did you get inside of
No.
103?
Nope.
All right, so how do you know?
Because we're going by the inventory, just like you may know what's in there. You've got a bath and a half, you say the other property has two. I don't know if you've been in that property. We're accepting you at your word. But you're trying to, compare,
in your
you're
inventory, the
trying to
2.5
compare
acres. It's
apples
not
to
my
oranges. Okay, well, that's what the
It's right
inventory
in-
has.
It's right in your.
We're gonna stand by my values. I looked at every house on that street. Okay, other properties were raised, some weren't, because I thought they were fairly assessed. I think the house is, fairly assessed, and it definitely isn't worth the owner's estimate of $176,000. Up in Sedgwick, he can get a lot more for that house than
It's not
$176,000.
Sedgwick.
I'm sorry, Rugby.
That's Eastwood. That's a 13206 area code.
Sedgwick is in that area. Sedgwick is in Sedgwick area where you're at.
So you're telling me my house, you're looking at
We
my
are at
house
2
as
minutes.
Sedgwick? Because that's not
House on
right.
Sedgwick Drive, not Sedgwick Road, Sedgwick Drive, okay?
It's I understand the area.
I'm looking at the houses in the historical district. Sedgwick Road is on the other side of James, that's not the historical district. I didn't use anything over there. I looked at houses in the historical district.
Yeah, well,
And your house is worth, in my opinion, this house is worth more than 176. We're standing by our comparable sales that I've used, and that's the end of my discussion.
Well, I have a question to ask. So you're.
You ask him.
Thank you. So what you're saying is my house is looked at as though it's an historical district? Yeah, right?
No.
Did I misunderstand that?
You're close to Sedgwick Drive. What Tom's saying is that an appraisal within half a mile radius is all things that can be considered as far as an appraisal is concerned. So in that regard,
wow.
in the appraiser, let's say they found something on Sedgwick Drive, just for the fun of it, there's going to be pluses and minuses. So there's no, as far as the adjustments, there'll be adjustments as far as an appraisal is concerned. But regardless, the 103 Rugby is obviously a good comp, whereby it is next door. And I understand that you're saying that it is a better house than yours, but also it's sold for $270, and the city has you assessed for $234 and change. So they're making up for, they're recognizing the fact that you may have a one-car garage versus two-car and so on and so forth. So that's what we zero in on, really, is sales. So we didn't make any decisions, but the point is that 103 right next door sold for $270,000. So if the appraiser does some adjustments, might get to 235. You understand?
What are the adjustments?
Well, like you have a one car, you said, versus they have a two car?
Is there a sheet where it shows the adjustment?
No, just saying from an appraisal standpoint.
Are there notes that I could look at?
No. The assessor's notes is assessor's work file that you don't have access to.
We are at time.
Again, we take everything into consideration, but we really zero in on the sales of property.
The comparables spell out what is in each individual property according to our inventory.
Yeah, so what did Tom use? 539 Grant Boulevard to Feigl, 1344 Teal Ave, 511 Wendell Terrace, 335 Wendell Terrace. So nothing was on Sedgwick, if you will.
So Wendell Terrace is within that Sedgwick neighborhood.
It is absolutely within the Sedgwick
This is not.
neighborhood.
This is not.
Understood, but again, it's within that half a mile radius, and this is not the 100 or 200 block, the 500 block is down near Grant Boulevard.
Outside the historical district.
Yeah, so, again, these are things that we use as a guide.
What's outside the historical district?
The
I'm sorry.
500 block of
500
Wendell,
block.
So I will say to you that any comps that he used are not within the historical district.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever comps he used, he just threw out Sedgwick Drive. But the point is that 335 Wendell, 511 Wendell, 1344 Teal, 539 Grant Boulevard, 103 Rugby. And I'm sure the 335 Wendell, albeit close, I don't believe that is within the historical district. Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want you running.
Yeah. So anyway, again,
Okay,
we take everything into consideration.
okay.
And then the city will send you a notice first week of April. But, again, points well taken, but you're probably in the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm confused why I couldn't see the notes, but I guess I'll have to research that. Maybe I have to do a FOIL request.
That's,
Assessors,
I don't,
assessor's work product is not foilable.
Oh.
Now, you can do it, that's what our law department tells us.
Well,
And trust me.
I'd like a challenge. I always like a challenge like that.
yeah, I mean, you
I don't mind, I
certainly,
got nothing to hide, I
Yeah.
can sit down and talk to you all day about it.
I just want to see, I'm curious.
Yeah, but when I analyze a property, I look at every possible
I
variable.
get it. I get it.
So I take my job seriously, and I make sure that I give everybody the same fair treatment. Most people don't think they're getting treated fairly, but when your assessment goes up, nobody's
but
treated
yeah, I mean, you can.
I hope I didn't imply otherwise.
No.
Okay. Look, I don't want to take up your time, but
But
I know
no,
you got people behind
go the FOIL route and see what transpires.
okay. It was good seeing you guys.
Basically,
Yes.
You're gonna get exactly what, he can make a copy of those comparables. I don't, that's,
Yeah, we
that's
should.
fine.
Take a
How I
copy.
analyze it, that's a different thing.
I think you have.
Okay,
Yeah, all right, so Michelle will make you a copy of the comps.
okay.
Yeah, oh, it's all good, this is normal.
I'll leave them over here so that.
Okay,
All
good.
right, good, thank
Good
you.
to see you.
All right, and thank you for your efforts here.
No
I know,
problem at all.
I know you make no friends, right? Doing this, but
I don't have many
appreciate it.
anyway.
you and me in the same boat.
If you want to sit and talk, I don't have a problem.
You have a card?
Didn't bring one with me, but I'm downstairs the first floor.
Yeah, you could, Tom Johnson. That might not be a bad idea, just so, you're getting a fair shake, but maybe you need to get a little more information.
Not trying to just toot my own horn, but I'm the only state certified appraiser in the department. And I've been doing it for 40 plus years. So how long? 40 some odd years. I know, they want to save money on my salary, and I'm trying to build my.
I thought he was retired. Yeah. All right, thank you. 107 Bungalow Terrace. How are you, sir?
Be better back all snow.
Yes.
The end of the driveway quickly.
Yes. I spent 4 hours yesterday shoveling my driveway.
Oh, no.
It's not pleasant.
No, we haven't had a winter like this like over
No.
10 years. Everyone's saying, oh, it's like, this has still been a good winter compared to what we used to have.
That's correct.
You have to back out your driveway and creep out because you can't see on either side of it.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, so what I'm going to do is swear you in, and
Sure.
I'll read some information in, and then we'll have a conversation. All right, so if you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Peter R. Young?
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is 107, this is number 9 for our purposes, 107 Bungalow Terrace. And let me just read some numbers in. We have a current tentative assessed value of $146,080. And that's the full market value.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me correct that. We have a current tentative assessed value of $84,000.
Oh, I thought we were going on the full assessment and then.
No, well, I'll explain the numbers in a second. So current tentative assessed value, 84,000 with a land value of 14,300. All right, so what I do want to confirm is you believe your okay, so you have a claimed market value of 115,000.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that, okay, that would just here, okay. So you believe your house is worth $115,000? Okay, which would be an assessed value of $66,125.
Oh, yes, yeah, the nice lady Renee helped me with filming that
Okay.
downstairs.
All right, so that's fine. So the numbers just, the city's at a tentative assessed value of 84,000, you're at 66,125, which would bring your market value to 115,000, and the city at $146,080. Sound about right?
Yeah.
The numbers are not out of whack, is what I'm trying to get at, as far as their current tentative assessed value to what you're seeking.
I'm just a little confused then. I understand where you're saying they're doing the percentage, the 57% of the
57.5 of 115 gives you the assessed value of 66,125. But I guess to unconfuse you, do you feel your property's worth $115,000?
Oh, yeah, it would. If I did the bathrooms and all that. We did in 2012, but that was about it.
Currently, do you believe it's worth $115,000?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's about as much as we could get with.
Okay, that's fine. So off of that, we work,
Okay.
all these numbers
I
fall
was
into
just looking at
place.
the full, the 146, like you mentioned before, the full, which is double what I paid for the house.
Right. And that's what that's what the city feels that it's worth. So let's talk about why you feel that the property's worth $115,000. And you brought something up about, so you paid $73,500 in 2000. Okay. So we got 25 years that has elapsed between then and now. Okay. What have you done to the property since, what's the current condition? Is this your principal residence?
Yes.
Okay. And so what's the current condition of the property?
Fair, the whole house is gonna be need painting again, inside and out. I sent pictures, so you had compared to the appraisal in 2012. Floors need refinishing. The bathrooms we updated in 2012, which is, replaced sinks, mirrors, stuff like that. Didn't rip out the tile. One bathroom we did because the tile was so ugly, so we just ripped off the tile and put wainscoting on it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the appraisal, and then I just have pictures of the house. I went around each room and then printed those out for each room to show you it hasn't changed since the appraisal.
Well, yes, but
and
I
the work it
understood.
needs.
The appraisal was done in 2012.
Right.
Did you get a refinance
Yeah,
on
we
it
refinanced it 20 years. so-
at that time?
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's see what the appraiser says. $88,000, it looks like. Okay. So we do have a bona fide appraisal in here. Again, it was 2012. Things have certainly changed from then until now.
Somebody said get an appraisal, but then it's like, I know, that's that kind of money to just throw away
Yeah.
to get a current appraisal.
Okay, well, that's fine. Again, that's why we use current comps as far as sales are concerned. Okay, so the condition is average, is what you're saying?
Yeah, everything could be needing updated again. And
What's, is this a colonial?
no, it's a bungalow.
Bungalow.
They classified as a 1.7-story house. I don't know where they
Okay,
got
I
the
see
1.8.
that. All right. So first floor all finished, second floor unfinished? Or
Oh, no,
is
no,
second
it's
floor
all
finished? Okay.
Just no attic really in the house.
Okay.
So,
Okay, what's upstairs?
4 bedrooms and a bathroom.
4 bedrooms and a bathroom,
Yep.
and then downstairs is what?
Living room, dining room, kitchen, a half bath they added in the 40s or something, and a little den.
And there's a
There are-
full bath upstairs?
Yes, there are pictures in there of what it currently is.
Good.
I did that to show you what difference was for the appraisal in 2012, and there is no difference.
Well, yes, I understand.
Okay. And the kitchen's never been touched. And if you can look at it, it's just old wood cabinets that
Okay,
when I bought it,
good.
the previous owner bought it in 85.
So we've got some good current pictures of the property,
Yeah, those are the new ones. And then, like I said, the other ones, whatever.
appraisal ones, which is here. Okay,
Like I said, the house needs a whole complete paint job again. So unfortunately, the way my house is, it's nice, but not really in the summer because sun rises in the east and my house is in the sun all day till it sets, which is nice, but it's not good for paint. The side of my neighbor's house coming up, it looks brand new. The back, one side and the other, it just doesn't stick. The paint jobs do not last 10 years.
and this property's in a trust.
Yeah, I did that.
Right. Okay,
We did that back then because before marriage was legal, we put it in a trust, that way there was no question with anyone. It was just, I passed away, it was his house.
okay,
And then I never changed it back after marriage became legal. The cost just to change the paperwork to get it out of the trust is ridiculous, like $800. You can stay in the trust.
okay.
And I know the lady downstairs said the trust was fine for that kind of stuff.
Yep.
In case something happened to me. She said, nope, the wording was perfect.
It's revocable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, irrevocable.
Well, it says revocable
Oh,
here,
it-
because I thought you did say irrevocable, just an FYI.
I know she looked it up downstairs and said it was fine. I just don't remember.
Yes, but I'm just telling you, it's
Oh, okay.
revocable.
I might have done that wrong.
You believe it's irrevocable?
I thought it was. I don't have.
All right, that's fine.
Like I said, I was just happy when the lady told me downstairs the wording was perfect, so there was no worries in case something did happen.
No
She went and
worries.
pulled the file. She was real helpful. Or Renee, I just remembered that. Actually, the other lady on the phone was real helpful.
Okay. Tom, let me go to you.
This is Michael's area. He increased the assessment by $11,000 to an indicated value of $146,000. He submitted some comparable sales for the board to review. Board feels because of the condition of the property, if he's got some pictures,
He does have some pictures, it's, you know, dated, but, you know, nothing crazy.
Complete updated again. Like I
One
said,
thing I'd like to do, this is after the fact of it, is to review the appraisal to make sure our inventory, room count, and size is accurate. But that's not important right now.
Okay, but you'll pull it from the
Yeah.
file, you got a note or what have you, okay. All right, so anything else you want to add?
no, just here, I don't know what I was doing. I just said make an appointment, so that's all I did.
Yeah, no, you gave us some good information. The pictures are good, as far as proof is concerned. The appraisal, is good, although it's 13 years old.
Oh, no, I know, that's why I thought I could get another one when they told me the price. Plus, they said there's a waiting list or something to get an appraisal nowadays, so. But I just didn't understand, because mine doubled and went up to 85 with the 146, or 140, yeah. Doubled in 25 years, but I'm checking all the other houses around the neighborhood, you know, they didn't go up that much as far as per square foot. Mine's like one of the most expensive ones on the street at 85.53 at the 146.
Okay,
My neighbor's 80, another one's 61, another one's 76, 66, 78. I don't understand how I'm so high on the list compared to my neighbors, which are comparable in square footage.
comparable in square footage?
Yeah.
Okay,
And then also I didn't understand, I know if you, one of the assessors read my little memo about the neighborhood when I was looking up these properties, these houses are not recorded correctly on city. You know, 116 I put in there has been completely remodeled. It's a 4-bedroom, 2,200 square foot house, and you guys have it as a, what, you know, I guess they just never got permits when they remodeled. I know 5 houses that are, you know,
That happens all the time.
oh. And the one guy is getting a star exemption. It's a rental property that we've been dealing with. Thank God, after how many years, 10 years, he finally had a good, quiet neighbor in there. At
Which property-
115.
Which,
And I recorded it, and they said they took it in 115, Cedric, somebody owns it,
115
Bungalow Terrace.
is a non-owner occupied, and you say it's getting a star exemption?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we can remove that. That's not a problem.
I don't know how he gets around it, but, you know, it's the
Line.
But he does not live with Cedric Williams, maybe it is, because we met him originally, and then we found out, we met the, oh, you read it, it's like, oh, no, we wrote rent. They've had like, this is like the 4th tenant, this is the quietest. We don't,
But
the other 4 before
that's
that.
part of the reason why, well, that is the reason why New York State took over the registration, because now they do it on all of them by social security number, so people don't get multiple star exemptions. And if you remodel it without a permit, we have no way of knowing unless a neighbor tells us, or we happen to be going by and like,
Well,
what's,
twice.
yeah.
The tenant before this one moved in destroyed the house. They came over with trucks of sheetrock, and we had to put up with it because they plugged the toilet. The stupid plumber that came to do it was doing it in the street, and all the toilet, they were all backed up and ran all that, and the smell in the neighborhood was ridiculous for over a week. The city kept the street screening, but the plumber didn't. August. But you guys are nice enough. The street sweeper and all that stuff. But after it was embedded in the blacktop, it didn't go anywhere.
We'll check out that star exemption.
I'm just assuming he probably has another house, probably his wife or whatever owns, and that's why he's getting away, but he does not live there.
all right, well, that's good to know. I don't think he'll be too happy with you, but, you know.
They won't know.
No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
no, I don't care, because
Yeah.
it's ridiculous after the people we've had to deal with in that house, you know,
Yeah,
for 10
yeah.
years since he bought it. Like I said, they just came in, ripped everything out, it was a 5-bedroom, but they just ripped it out, and made it one big office, and over big walk.
Lovely. All right, well, we will take everything that you have presented, as well as the city, and then the city will send you a notice first week of April.
Okay, thank you, guys, everyone have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Give me 2 minutes.
So we've got, Tom's going to hit the restroom, but 415 Winkworth and Markland together?
No,
Oh,
no, they're separate.
hold on a second. Oh, okay.
All right.
You don't have to come up yet, but are you 415 Winkworth, sir? Okay, all right. Sester just went to the restroom, and then I'll have you up. That's perfect. Thank you for that, following up and everything. And then what I'll do is I'll probably wait till I receive it. Call it. But thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. We have 415 Winkworth Parkway. This is number 10 for our purposes. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. 415 Winkworth Parkway. I'm going to swear you in. Is this your principal residence?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Once again, this is number 10 for our purposes. 415 Winkworth Parkway. If you could just raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
James Mulder?
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability? Okay, thank you very much. So let me read this in. Once again, 415 Winkworth Parkway. This is a single-family home, principal residence. We have a current tentative assessed value of $141,000 with a land value of $27,900. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $200,000, which would be an assessed value of $115,000. Just wanted to make a note here. Okay, and then let me just thumb through real quick here. Once again, single-family residence. It was purchased for $63,000 back in 1983. A mortgage was had, and we've got a letter submitted by the applicant, which I'll take a peek at. Okay. So let me just review this letter real quick. Well, this was a 10.59% increase from 2024 to 2025. Okay. So then we have a comparison at 417 Winkworth Parkway. It's been vacant for about 25 years. Next door property in poor condition, okay. So the property next door is vacant, unpaid taxes totaling about $46,000 plus. Okay. Okay. Okay, so basically your complaint is mainly based on this property next door.
I'm not one of these guys who come in and say, I have the worst house on the street, but I live next to the worst house on the street.
Yes.
So, and as I mentioned in my note, this has been going on for 25 years. The place is just deteriorating. And I know from what I've heard, I was told like a year ago, the city was in the process of foreclosing on it, but nothing's happening very quickly. And so, to make a long story short, I know values have gone up, and rightly so, but I think given this blighted property I'm next to, I don't think a 10.6% increase in the assessment is warranted or fair, because you know, I love our house and I like the neighborhood, but I wouldn't want to buy a house next to that place. I mean, it's a, here's a photo I took yesterday. It actually looks better with snow on the ground, but it's kind of like an invitation for squatters. No one plows the driveway. There's not a light on in the house, so you don't have to be Inspector Clouseau to see clearly that this is a vacant house.
Are you to the left of it or the right of it?
Yes, I'm to the left. This is it. On the side. Big hedge in between the houses. And the yard is a mess. The backyard has a lot of gigantic trees, some of which are dead. And there's a detached garage way in the back. The roof is starting to cave in on that. So the place is a mess. And I don't even know if it's, you know, if this is a knockdown or if it could be rehabbed. About 15, 20 years ago, a pipe burst in the house when the water was still on, and I think they had an insurance claim. They had hazmat crews come in and rip out a lot of walls and stuff, and they were doing some work. Then everything stopped, and nothing's been done in the place since.
Sure. John, Trevor, do you guys have any information on 417 Winkworth Parkway? Well, 417 is the one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, with respect to potential foreclosure, back taxes. If you would, 417 Winkworth Parkway.
Trevor,
Yeah.
I think that's something that it may be something that's tied up with an estate. I think. Process started. Okay.
I'd be curious to find out what the update is there. It's WINKWORTH Parkway. WINKWORTH Parkway. I feel your pain. I live next door to a house on Sedgwick Drive that has been vacant for about 40 years,
40?
at least.
Oh, boy, you got me beat.
So it's
Joe's
a,
house.
and it's
I
a,
was just going to say that same comparison.
yeah,
They moved because Joe lives next.
yeah. Yeah, apparently there's a ghost that told them not to sell it, and now the ghost is telling them to sell it. Anyway, I I understand exactly what you're dealing with. It's extremely frustrating. However, these people pay the taxes. So nothing can be done.
Yeah, unlike this.
Yeah, and I don't know why it takes so long, and I'm not saying anything about the city or anything. But there are a few other properties that are ridiculously in arrears, and I just, I can't understand why it takes so long to foreclose on these things. The city doesn't want the property, I get that. But $46,000, we all know how many years that is roughly of people not paying taxes. So, anyway, so that certainly negatively affects you. But so I want to get a little more information on where the foreclosure process is, if in fact it's somewhere. Because that would give me a gauge of, you know, how long we still have to go. Tom, any?
The assessor for the area, Michael, and he submitted some comps. I used to have the area, so I'm familiar with Mr. Mulder's situation. I can say that I never raised his assessment because I recognize his situation. But each assessor has their own judgment. If the board wants to take the Winkworth ghost house into consideration, good thing Joe doesn't live next to you.
Why don't you buy it, Joe?
If you want to take that into consideration, I don't think the department would have any objection to it. Give Mr. Mulder some relief.
Was this, oh yeah, it was an increase of 10, 11%, okay.
A house like that does affect the marketability of anything around it,
Yeah.
especially immediately adjacent to it.
Sure.
And if it's been vacant that many years and they've had those kind of problems, who knows? It might be a house that demoed and sell the lot and they make more money selling the lot for somebody to build, because there's not many vacant lots up there. The last vacant lot I was aware of up there, I don't remember the street, but the guy spent like $50,000 for the lot that went all the way through from High Ridge out to the next street. He built the ranch house.
Yes, I think I'm familiar with
Yeah. That's the last
We're at 2
vacant lot
minutes.
that I was aware of up there. So
that. Yes, yeah.
All right. Did you retire?
I did,
When?
in 2023.
2023. Mr. Mulder is, as you know, I'm sure, a tremendous reporter, writer, journalist. Yeah.
Yeah, I lasted 45 years at the
45
Post Standard,
years.
which has to be a miracle in such a turbulent industry, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I was an English major, but when you read some of the articles, that doesn't sound very correct. They have grammar check and spell check anymore.
Well, a lot of those things have fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
It's a story.
That's right.
Well, I think you're kind of iconic as far as Syracuse is concerned.
Well, thank you.
With respect to how long you were there and, the history. So
Bob
definitely
Baird, he was always
appreciate.
my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob was quite a character.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had a great career.
Well, thank you. And thanks for hearing me out. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
We'll get into it. We'll get a little more information and then see what we can come up with. The city will send you a notice first week of April.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
coming
much.
in.
And
Yes.
if you want to take a open house tour of that house, maybe you'd,
It's probably not too hard to get in and see.
no. Yeah, just jiggle the back door.
All right.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so we have 217 Markland Ave. Okay, if you want to come on up. Thank you for waiting. Yep. Yeah, take your time.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, good evening. How are you?
I'm Linda Hager, and I'm the owner of 217 Markland Avenue. And I've been there, will be 60 years on April 15th, 1965.
Good for you. I'm going to swear you in.
Pardon?
I'm going to swear you in, but take your time. Get settled. Okay, so if you could,
May I say, my cats are mischievous, and they ruined my hearing aids, so I only have partial hearing.
Okay.
So if you speak up loud, it would help me.
okay, very good. I'll do that. And so if you could raise your right hand,
Oh.
state your name for the record.
Linda S. Hager, Hagger.
Okay, very good. And do you affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let me just read some information in the property, 217 Markland Avenue. It's a two-story colonial. We have a current tentative assessed value of we have a current tentative assessed value of 59,000. Okay. And then we have, that's a land, with a land value of 8,700, so that's within the 59,000.
8,700 what?
That's what the
inside?
lot, the lot.
Of the land, the
Yes.
lot. Oh, okay, 8,000 square feet, right?
Well, it's based on that, yes.
Okay,
But the figure to zero in on is the 59,000,
okay.
okay? And then you believe your property is worth 45 to 50,000?
No, I believe my property is worth 45 to, yeah, 40, between 45 and 50,000 because it needs some work.
Okay, so what we did was we took the assessed value from the 45,000, the lower figure, okay?
You'd what?
The assessed value on the lower figure, okay, of 45,000.
Yeah, I think my assessed value is lower than 45,000.
Yes, it's $25,875.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm getting at is that you said your property's worth 45 to 50,000.
I would probably sell it. The properties in my neighborhood are selling anywhere from, if they're depressed, maybe 15,000, 25,000. And if they're in good condition, they're going for anywhere from 60 to 95,000.
Okay, and you think your property will just
Well,
work,
okay, yeah.
we'll work off of the $45,000 figure.
So did I mess myself up?
No,
Oh, okay, because
No.
I'm like in the dark. I'm not very good at this right now, at this stage of my age.
yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I'm not stupid, but I'm not as sharp as I was 40 years ago.
Sure. So again, you feel that your property is worth about $45,000?
I think I could get 45,000 for it.
If you were to sell
If
it?
I was to sell it as is.
Okay,
Yeah, I think I could do that.
that's fine.
But the reason I asked for a lower estimate is because I need to fix every room in my house. And I need the money to do that instead of the 59,000, and I do keep my property up on the outside. And it's better for us to live there, my son and I, because we pick up our street. We walk our dog and we pick up the trash on Markland Ave.
Yeah.
Okay, and not only that, but we keep our property, like if I could show you a picture of my property, I'm the only one that has sidewalk, snow blowed. Everybody else, I can't walk my dog. We have to take him up to the res. I can't walk him on my street at all. But we have older neighbors that my son, he'll cut their bushes for them for free. You know what I mean? And he'll help with the grass, and he'll give them a low rate and mow the grass. So like there's 3 houses or 4 or 5 houses on our street. He cuts the grass and he's really good at it, and and he doesn't charge them a lot of money, and it looks nice, and we have flowers all the time. I mean, we have wildflowers, and we have rose bushes, and we have roses, and we have tulips, and we also grow vegetables in between them, and then we give them to the neighbors.
Very
You know what
nice.
I mean? So we also pick up the res too, you know what I mean? But my son he does police the street, and we take a trash bag with us when we walk our dog, and I take one for his poop and one for the trash on the street when I can, and we pick it up, we pick the street up,
That's very nice.
yeah.
So, looks like you paid $6,800 in 1965.
Yeah, it was in pretty bad shape. Yeah, it was really a bad shape.
Okay. And so it's just you and your son there.
Yeah. And he, you know, and I'd like to keep it in the family, so like pass it down to all our relatives, because, you know, I have a lot of grandchildren and stuff, you know, some of them aren't gonna be able to buy a house. You know what I mean? Some of them are going to college and they're doing well, and then there's some that are made it out of high school, but they're working at like McDonald's and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So we'd like to keep it in the family and just pass it down as we go, you know, as we age.
Yeah. Let's see. How many children do you have? How many children do you have?
I have 3, but I have 3 children, right? Okay. I have 10 great-grandchildren. I have 7 grandchildren.
Very nice.
Okay. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, from 3 children, I have all that, you know what I mean? So,
Okay. And so your property, you feel it needs a lot of interior cosmetics?
is what?
You feel that the inside of your property needs?
Yeah, well, I had like the ceiling fixed because water came in and the drop ceiling dropped. We had a suspended ceiling. It dropped, so I had that repaired. Then within 11 months later, it happened again. And the guy came back and he said he would fix it, and he didn't. And what he didn't do is he didn't carnac my roof, and water came in. It was that bad year in 2016 and 2017 in October. Remember those days? I don't know if you remember those days of heavy rain.
Yeah. I
flooding.
do, because I had a water problem.
Huh?
I had a water problem.
Yeah,
in
and so now I
September
got
of
it. So
2016.
then he didn't come back, and then I thought, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? And so I mean now I've got to redo the ceiling again, and I had somebody else carnac it. You know what I mean? So I mean it's like every room is like the bathroom. I got to replace the tile in the bathroom. The bathroom tub is peeling because I had it coated, you know. I had it coated, spray coated.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's peeling. You know what I mean? Every room. The kittens that we got went and tore the wallpaper off the living room. So now we got to smooth that over and paint that. I mean, it's like,
How many cats do you have?
it's, you know, I mean, the cellar, I have a leak in the cellar, and my, you know, it's like every room I have the paint. Now I have to paint every room in the house, fix the ceiling, and you know what I mean. So that's why I need the money to do that, to make it more habitable inside. You know?
Okay. Tom, any information you want to?
That's for the area, grand comparable sales. My professional opinion, I would prefer that he run new sales, and the board could take into consideration the condition of the property.
Okay.
When you look at the value of those sales. Michael,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think you see my point.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can zero in on,
Well, you know, I have one person that his house is a 1950, and right here on Markland Ave. I mean, I can just read it to you. He's assessed at 35,000. And he's like me, he got an old house that was left. And like, he has a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, but he has 1,446 square feet. His house was built in 1950. My house was built in 1994, I stand corrected. His estimated value is $95,976. Assessment told me mine was assessed at $102,000. His is a single-family residential 2-story. That's what mine is. His basement is finished. My basement is not finished. Mine's old limestone. His attic is finished. Heating, he has forced air, replaced approximately 1221. He put a brand new furnace in. He has a 2-car garage attached. I don't have any garage. His driveway holds 5 cars. His lot size is 6,996 square feet. His lot frontage is 53 feet, and his depth is 132 feet. He lives here at 229 Markland Ave since 2011 to December 2nd, 2011. Okay. His taxes, some years he didn't pay tax and some years he did. I'm not gonna, I paid taxes every single year that I lived there. And my husband left after 13 years of marriage, and I maintained the house ever since 27. He left in April 9th. Let's see, 13 years. It was 65, 75, 77, 78, 79. He's left in 78, 79. It's been so long, I forgot. He just walked out. He had a breakdown. He was a veteran. You know what I mean? He had problems, poor guy. I mean, I feel bad for him. So I maintained the house afterwards, okay? He's made some improvements. This is 229. I'm talking about 229. He's made improvements on his house. He did his front porch over, closed it in. He replaced all his windows. He had to, because the day before he moved in, the
We're at
neighborhood
2 minutes.
hoodlums they broke every single window in his house. He had to replace them.
Are you going to submit that?
I have this if you want it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's right here, and it's 229 Markland Ave.
Okay.
Okay. So he's assessed at 35,000. My house is way older than him, and I'm assessed at 44,000.
Actually, 59,000.
And that's not fair and equitable.
Okay.
Okay.
You were assessed for 44,000 and now 59,000? Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, so we're going to talk to the appraiser, because we have to see if we can get some better comparables also.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't mean to blow the guy in, you know what I mean? But I went and saw that he's paying less in assessed value than I am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
He's not going to be too happy with you.
Huh?
He's not going to be too happy with you. He's not going to be too happy with you.
Don't tell him. No, because he's in a motorcycle gang, and his kids were thugs, and they did bad stuff to my my cars. His kid told another kid to take a brick and throw it at my car, and he dented my car. And they're friends. There was a gang of them back in 2016, 2017, 2018. When I used to criticize them, they would put nails in my car. They broke off the aerial. They did a lot of damage to my property.
That's
and
terrible.
I didn't report it because they're different nationalities. Some were Puerto Rican, some were black, some were mixed. And I didn't want them to be in trouble because black kids usually didn't get treated very well, and I thought they'll grow out of it. So I never pressed charges against the kids. I should have, but I didn't. You know, I wanted
Okay.
them to get a chance and grow up.
We are
You
at
know,
time.
one of them, a couple of them went to jail, to prison. One of his kids went to prison, and another kid, yeah, one of his kids went to prison. for a
All right.
while. They're not good people.
Well, I'm sorry
Really
to hear
not good
that.
people.
All right. Is there,
But I-
did you want to submit this piece of paper also?
This is mine. You don't want
Oh,
mine.
okay.
You
All
don't
right.
need mine. I already told you everything. Do you want it on paper? I wrote it on paper.
No.
No, this is what I told you about mine.
That's fine. No,
Yeah.
I think
And
we're good
if,
there.
If I omitted something, I'll come back and clear it up.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So the city, we're going to fine tune the comparables and certainly take everything that you can set into consideration along with this 229 Markland. And then the city will send you a notice first week of April.
Okay, so you think I might make it to the 45,000?
I can't say
Okay.
tonight,
All right.
okay?
Okay.
But what I
Right.
can tell you is we will definitely take a close look at your situation.
Okay, all right, thank you.
But definitely appreciate everything that you and your son do as far as Markland is
Not
concerned.
only that, I used to do the laws for the city of Syracuse when I worked for the city-county planning agency. And I did all the laws for the city of Syracuse and the hearings.
That's what you did for a living?
Yeah, I did. I'm a career government. I worked for Onondaga County for 20 years. And I
for you.
helped Onondaga County win ward for diversity. And I got $10,000 back in the mail from, I went and retrieved it. They were looking for a check. We were sorting the checks to the landlords. And this one slum landlord, he wasn't supposed to get a check. And one of the workers I work with, she sent it in the mail. I went down to the mailroom and I talked to Mr. Banowski. And good thing we had a sorter, went to a second agency to sort the mail for the post office. And he went and got the check back for me. I took it back upstairs to the social service department. And they got their $10,000 back in 2000.
Beautiful.
So, and I did help get awards for diversity. We were the only county to do diversity, and I did all the diversity work for personnel. I worked for training and education. I helped set up all the training for 5,000 employees, even the police people, and I did all of that too.
Well, sounds
So-
like you had a great career.
Yeah, I did.
You see this
I love-
person behind me?
Huh?
You see this person behind me? She's going to get mad because I keep on
I
letting
don't
you
want, I don't want to
talk.
talk, I don't want,
You're getting me in trouble.
no, I'm sorry, I don't want to keep you any longer.
No,
I
that's fine.
I believe I want to thank you all for your service.
Yeah, and thank you, and we want to thank you for yours. And the city will send you a letter first week of
Okay.
April.
Thank you.
All right, you take care. Okay. Should we, and is that it? Oh, okay. I didn't know if we should take the one and then do the several. Who? Are you the one with the multiple properties? Oh, yeah, you've been here. Yep, come on up. How are you? Good. All right, so I'm going to swear you in, but if I could just ask, we've got, looks like we've got 5 properties?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any particular order you want them read in
Well,
or addressed?
probably these two because they're the most recent. 130 Whittier and 615 Tompkins because they're the most recent purchases. And they were the ones I was given notice. I just happened to check the others, and then I was like, might as well discuss them all.
All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to make a slight change. we'll do the 130 Whittier and 136 Whittier first.
That's fine.
And then, and I know they're separate, so we'll read them in separate.
Yep.
Okay. So for our purposes, 130 Whittier is number 12. Okay. If you can raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Edward O'Brien.
You affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So we will start off with 130 Whittier Ave. So this is a single family. Are these all rental properties?
They are.
Okay.
And I do have, you guys had asked for rent certification, which I did here. They're month to month. You'll see that, and I don't want to jump around, but like some of the older properties, I have it pretty, below market rents. Like 136 Whittier that you want to discuss, I have it $1,400 month to month. The 130 Whittier is at $2,000 a month. And that's a new tenant. The tenant before was at $1,800. But
Okay.
like I have older ones that are less, so.
Okay. We'll take them one at a time then.
Sure. And I do have I also have, I don't know if you want this stuff, but you would ask for it, so I made sure I had it, I only own these two for 2 years, so these are income and expense for 2 years. And then I have it for the other 3 for 3 years, like you asked.
Excellent. All right. So what we'll do on the front side of, so we'll take this paper, but on the front side of your submission, if you would just put the corresponding rent,
Oh, okay, just write it on top.
please.
So,
Because we've got 5 different files and we'll put that in one file. Okay, so 130 Whittier Ave. This is a single family. Current tentative assessed value 111,000 with a land value of 13,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $117,150, which would be an assessed value of $67,361. And this one here was purchased for $117,150, February 28th of 2023. And it was a cash deal, arm's length. Property needs new roof, furnace, and other capital improvements. Estimated market value is way too high. Estimated market value, is that your estimate?
yeah, that was my statement. I didn't, this is my first time filling this form out, but yes.
Okay. So you're saying the city's estimate of market value is way
correct.
too high?
Like, I think purchase price should be a good indication of value. And I literally just bought this one, well, I'll talk about this one. I just bought it less than 2 years ago. So I'm fine with like the assessed value that was higher than what I purchased it for in 2024. But then the assessed value or the market value went up $65,000.
Okay.
So
let's zero in on this sale for a minute. You said it's arm's length. Was it listed by a realtor?
Yeah, it was marketed. Yep.
All right. And
it had multiple bids, and I was the winning bidder. So it was, it was an arm's length deal. It was heavily brokered. I happened to be here. I bought the property, and I will say, typically, we're talking about 130 Whittier. So 130 Whittier was an auction. My first time doing an auction. So it was the auctioneer out of Baldwinsville, I think Bresdeck or something like that.
Ernie Brostek?
Yeah, I happen to own the property right next door, 136, and they share a driveway. That's what intrigued me to do it. So I literally went online. There were multiple bidders. There were multiple people. I did it from Pennsylvania, but there were multiple people there. In fact, I knew somebody that was there physically. And I was the highest bidder.
Okay. So typically,
Mhm.
auctions, could be more of a distressed situation. What was the deal there?
Not really. So I knew part of what made, I didn't even walk inside of this property. I've walked hundreds of properties in Tip Hill. That's where I really focus. And I'm from this area, so it's not like I don't know this area. I'm from this area. My dad grew up in Tip Hill, so I really wanted to do good things in Tip Hill, and that's when I got started, I think in 2011. This one, I shared a driveway. I knew the owner. I knew he took good care of his house. And when he passed away, I guess his daughter, this is how she decided to sell it. I didn't even know he was ill. I didn't know. So like, I didn't know too, when you buy something in auction, whatever doesn't sell in the auction, you get. So I had to pay money to get all this stuff removed.
Oh,
I didn't know that. So it was just an additional cost to me. It was not stuff I really wanted.
Okay, yeah, nothing that we can take into consideration, but good point. Okay. The rent on this is how much?
So the rent on this one is $2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month. And I'm assuming the occupant pays their own utilities and...
So they pay their own utilities. I pay the water, which that's another issue here in Syracuse. Like I have, some properties I have I have water bills for $148 for this property. That's a quarterly payment. That's way too high. I mean, it's high. Yeah. So what it means sometimes is, there could be a leak at the property and I try to take care of it, or it could be a toilet or something that's not running right. But I'm pretty meticulous about trying to take care of things, but that does happen when you're not the owner and you're renting and you're paying the water bill, which is typical.
Who's paying the water bill?
I am.
Actually, it's typical that the tenant pays on a one-family.
Well, it doesn't seem to, that's not the way it's worked for me, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the water bill stays in your name, and then you get the bill, and then, you tell the tenant to reimburse.
Right.
Then they'll start watching the water usage.
Yeah.
But okay, that's fine. Everybody does it differently. So your argument on this one is basically what you paid for it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Tom? Go ahead.
Yeah, and I would just add, I mean, if you looked at, you could look at 144 Whittier, you could look at 146 Whittier. Those two properties are 2025 market values of 135, 652, 112, or 139, 130. So, that's more in line with where I think mine should be. If you took...
Those are current assessed values?
Those are current assessed values that I pulled up.
Okay.
For 144 and 146 Whittier. And and that would apply to both 130 and 136 for values.
How many bedrooms here?
There's 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms. Is this rented to students?
No, it's two individuals.
2 individuals?
Two young people that are working and, yep.
Okay.
Right. Well, they're actually pretty good. They both make pretty good money. I had another tenant that I had 3 individuals there before. So some people like that there's a main bedroom on the main floor because I did upgrade the flooring in a bathroom and kind of just cleaned up the house, cleaned it up. But he was pretty meticulous, clean owner, but it needs a new roof. It needs things that, these are 100-year-old houses. My father said, do not do it. Don't invest. So I said, I work in my real life, I work in commercial real estate. So I said, I'm going to do this. I kind of know numbers, but it's expensive and,
Yeah. Tom, what do you got?
The assessor for the area is Michael, and he rounded off some comparable sales. I don't know I think he probably did a lot of houses in the area. An auction is not considered an arm's length transaction. In fact, we flagged it as a non-arm's length transaction because it was an auction.
Well, so by definition, arm's length transaction means that I don't know the seller.
That's
So I
not the
don't-
only criteria.
Okay. But it was bid on by
Without
multiple
any
bidders?
undue influence. You know, an auction, there is undue influence.
So I bought two properties at the same time frame. So the other property that I was a little confused by, so I apologize. The 615 Tompkins, the other one, was a broker deal that I bought for, that was listed for 115, and I bought for 120 because it was a competitive bid. And so I find it hard to believe that this 117 wouldn't be the market price had they gone with the broker.
Because it's an auction, plain and simple.
From a
It may have come
exposure standpoint, you know, it's not in the MLS. There's probably a finite number of buyers that are tuned into the auction scenario.
Understood. My point is simply, I think I'm making the case for, I paid 120 on a better, I would argue, a better street, but the house probably not as good as condition, and then a better conditioned home on what some might not think is as good a street, and they're similar prices at the same time. So, you could build up the purchase price a little because I had to pay, money to get things removed from the house.
You said you were in commercial real estate?
Yes.
You know how it works, right?
Well, I know how it works, but I live in Pennsylvania. I'm really not, I'm not like I'm not a big multifamily buyer. I'm like buying these since
But
2011.
the whole thing is, and I'm not trying to be really argumentative, but the
Yeah.
fact that it was an auction, that automatically sends out the signal that there's conditions that require that property be sold with undue influence. An arm's length transaction is free and willing buyers and sellers, and if somebody likes a house, they want to bid. That's been the pattern for a number of years
Okay,
now.
fair enough. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I would still make a case for the 65,000 and the 193 value, not appropriate for this property. It's just not an
The assessor
appropriate.
ran comps, and we're submitting them to the board, and it's up to the board.
And I just gave you two comps that they should look at that were 135 and 139.
Okay, yeah, and so we've got some comps from the city, two on Coleridge, Tompkins, Bryant, Whittier. So we'll zero in on those, and then you have noted the addresses that he suggested? Okay, what
So
are those?
It's 144 Whittier at 139, 130. It's a single family like I have. And 146 Whittier at 135, 652 value, market value. Also a single family like mine.
That would suggest that your property is worth more if you're using those as comparables, or am I misunderstanding?
You're misunderstanding because you're saying that my property's worth 193.
So you're saying by using those comparable sales, you want them to compare your property to two comparable sales that you're submitting that sold in excess of what you paid for your property, correct?
Well, these aren't sales. These are two that I pulled up, two properties that were.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I
Okay,
thought you were saying-
that's okay. I was just trying to say the market value than assessed value. So I apologize if that was
Okay, no.
confusing.
No problem. I understand.
144 and 146, those were the two that I also, I pulled up 248 Bryant, which we haven't gotten to that, but you pull up values, I don't know, I guess any of us can pull up Redfin or Realtor or Zillow, and that gives you that's what it looks like happened here, because I'm like, these values are so high, I can't even afford to buy anything right now because the numbers don't make sense. So another way to calculate value I would just discuss with the board is there is an income approach that you can do as an investor. And I get that I'm not living in these homes, I do get that, I'm limited from buying certain homes that are to be sold to people that want to live in them, and I get it. But some of these homes, I've had family members and different people live in. I've fixed them up. I've had people thank me for buying a home and fixing it up because of the people living there, the condition it was in. So, you know, I have tenants. I have a tenant that's been there forever, paying $11.50 a month, that they can't even afford to pay that. So it's very challenging, and I take a lot of pride in taking care of these properties. And so the cost of this, like, to me, it's just difficult to go, well, wait a minute, I just bought this for $120, and later we can talk about $615 that was through a broker, multiple bids, and I'm twice through the foreclosure. Like, I'm paying a lawyer to try to evict this tenant. So I'm $13,444 in arrears that I'm never going to get. Plus another $2,500 last year and this year trying to evict them. So everyone thinks, oh, $2,050, he's making a ton of money. I'm really not. So I'm just trying to, you know, I think the city wants affordable housing. I'm trying to help with that. Obviously, the newer properties I buy, I have to make the numbers work. And so for me, I have to charge closer to market. But, you know, I'm working really hard to try to keep these affordable and trying to buy the right deals and make the right improvements and not overspend. But the reality is these are 100-year-old homes that almost every house I have to replace the furnace, you know, at some point. Most of them I've replaced at this point, or I will have to, or they need a roof, or almost every property or an outside of the house. So like when they do these adjustments, they really need to do the adjustment based on, yeah, maybe it's 196 if it had a new roof and the siding was good and everything was good, because there are people doing turns in this market that I can't compete with, because they have a crew come in and they, you know, fix them up and they're doing all these nice things and then they're selling them, and I'm surprised that, you know, 200,000 or whatever. But that's not what I'm doing. And that's not what my properties look like inside. They're clean, they're affordable, but I'm not over improving them. I'm trying to keep them affordable where the numbers work for me and the tenant. And to be honest, like these $2,000 rents, I mean, I have one that's doing well and one that I'm losing money on, like that the tenant can't afford. And even though they had a job and they qualified. So it's just challenging. So I know that's not, but for the board to consider is that I'm trying to buy properties, and I've been in a lot of properties in Tip Hill, so I'll speak just to Tip Hill, and it's a lot of investors that own the homes. And back when my dad grew up on that street, it was mostly families that lived there, and they just don't, you know, almost everyone I knew that lived there, they don't live there anymore.
I'll just tell you that I'm very familiar with Tip. I grew up there.
Yeah.
I still live there. One of the comps they just submitted is at my house on Coleridge.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Tip Hill's on fire. The rental market is on fire. You could get a lot more. I mean, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm not criticizing you for that. I think that's great. But the rents on Tip Hill are crazy, and because it's cool for 20-somethings to live on Tip Hill right now, and they're all willing to pay $800, $1,000 a bedroom to live up there. It's crazy.
And I hear you, and I'm just telling you from experience of, you're right, I could be charged, like I could have increased a lot of these tenants more, you know, but, you know, 136 Whittier, I've told them I have to increase their rent, but it's like, you know, 2 generations, 3 generations of family living there, that they take care of it, I get my rent, you know. I have another one where that's $11.50 and the city's just starting to contribute some rent. It's my first time since 2011. So I've not received any. So like, yes, it's harder to get those tenants that are the young kids. That's what I thought I'd have, all these young people that want to be there to go to the bars, but it's harder to get those tenants in and staying. They come in, they trash the place, they stay for a year, you know, they jump somewhere else. So it's, you know, Anyways, we'll keep going.
Yeah, let's go on to, no, all points well taken. Let's go on to 136 Whittier. Probably a lot of the same discussion, but let me just read some numbers in. Current tentative assessed value, 110,000, with a land value of 13,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 148,320. And that would be an assessed value of $85,284. Single family, purchased for $52,500 back in 2011. Mortgage situation, yep, costly repairs, high water bills, so on and so forth. Okay. Same type of thing. Oh, do you have something to submit on this last one here?
So do you want, okay, so I'm going to give you, yeah, so I'll submit. This is the couple years of.
Yeah, and what I'll do is if.
You can keep this as the.
Yeah, and then we can take that and put it in the last file. But that's good. All right.
Joe, just so you know, we've got 10 minutes for the rest of the properties here.
Okay. Okay. What is it, 10 minutes?
For the rest of his, because then we still have another person, and they're gonna be locking the doors downstairs.
When?
Supposed to be at 8.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
What's the rent on Whittier?
No, we just did that.
Which one?
136
is $1,400 a month.
They pay utilities, you pay water.
I pay
Yeah,
for
if you want
water.
to take that over there. All right, so we'll try to, want to make sure you have everything heard, but we got to try to.
Right, I hear you.
Okay, so I read in the numbers, I think you have a rental amount of, what do you have here?
Oh, $1,400 a month.
Okay, $1,400 a month. Same type of information, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's very similar. I mean, I came up with the 148. You guys had an assessed value in 2024 of 144. I took like a 3% increase. I think that's fair. As you said, I paid 52 back. I think this was the first property I bought, 136. It has a shared driveway. I did put in a new roof and redid, I had to put in a new furnace. It had asbestos issues that I had to take care of way back when. So different things that I've done here. And I'm aware I could raise around. I'm aware that it's a below market rent property, but typically an appraiser would look at, if he's doing, would look at not just sales comps, but the condition of the comp and then an income value and look at that.
All right, let me take that if I could.
Yep, that's that.
Okay, good, thank you. Tom, you've got.
I stand corrected. This, the one prior and this one, and these on Tip Hill are Matt's area. There's comparable sales. The sales are looked at range from $131,000 up to $200,000. Tip Hill and zeroed in on the indicated value.
Okay.
And there's a couple companies that they do a lot of improvements and they're typically the ones selling at the higher number. So, and I'm not saying that some of these are selling at prices that are hard to understand, but most of these homes do need some significant improvements. Like you're not going in and they're not, most of them are not turnkey. So, the homes that are 200, they may be more turnkey, but most of them, if you have to do siding and a roof, you're spending close to $30,000. You know, and that's what I have, like 242 Bryant, I know I have to do a roof at 130 Whittier. So, 615 Tompkins, I know I have to do decent amount of work on.
All right, so let me read in 615 Tompkins.
Okay.
Once again, 615 Tompkins, single family, current tentative assessed value 101,000 with a land value of 9,400. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 120,000, which would be a assessed value of 69,000. Okay, and then that one there, what do you have for rents there?
This is the one that, it's listed at $2,050 a month, but I'm not getting that. But I'm under oath, I'm putting down what the market rent month to month that she's required to pay. She's over $13,000 in arrears to me in rent. This is the second eviction I'm going through, so hopefully at some point we'll move on.
All right, we'll note that current situation as well. All right, then we have 242 Bryant Ave.
So 240.
Here's the comparable sales.
Okay, thank you.
So 242 Bryant, I'm getting rent of $1,500 per month.
Let me just read the numbers in.
Okay.
So we've got 242 Bryant, current assessed value, tentative assessed value of 104,000 with a land value of 9,700. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 135,136, and that would be an equatable assessed value of 77,703. Rents there?
$1,500 per month.
Okay.
And I do pay, I pay water.
Comparable sales.
We will.
And again, if you look up, so what stuck out to me on this one, because you can see my house in the picture when you look it up, but if you were to Google 248 Bryant Ave, which is, you'll see my house to the right of it, is right next door. And they're very similar. And he's an individual that's lived there. I know he takes care of his home. And Zillow has it at 122 and Redfin has it at 147. So that's market price. So somewhere in that range, and I'm saying 135 for mine. You know, we both, they're very similar homes. So, you know, mine's been a rental longer, so it needs a roof, it needs, you know, I need to paint it or do siding or something. So like, there's things I need to do, but,
All right, let me take that.
Yep, that's that.
Just a quick comment. We don't use Zillow in value. I know they put it out there. I think the information they put out there is misleading.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But that's why I pointed out like Redfin and you can look up other things and, what did I get? Like,
We haven't done this one, tennis.
All right, so last one here, 535 Tennyson Avenue. Single family, current tentative assessed value 95,000. With a land value of 10,300. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 115,360. And that would be an equatable assessed value of 66,332. And then we have a rent here.
of $1,150. And the city just started paying like $580 of it. So, and I think, so it's, and I apologize because it just started, so I filled it out. I think it's like a shelter program, so it's very limited. It's like a 6-month window, or it's until October. They're going to pay $580 because this tenant declared hardship. He's disabled. So again, it gets difficult.
Shelter rent.
What is it?
Shelter rent.
Shelter rent. Yeah, that's what it is, shelter rent. So I can put shelter rent down here if you want. And it's $580 they pay. $580 they pay. And that just started, just so you know, so.
Okay, that's good.
There's comparable sales.
Thank you. All right. So based on the time we did run through, but I want you to know we're going to look at these extensively individually and see what we can come up with. Can I take that also?
Yes.
I know you wrote them on each one, but this way we've got your signature here as far as the rents. And so we'll take the comps that the city has supplied as well as all of your information. And then we will analyze, and then the city will send 5 notices first week of April as to the individual decisions. But we understand that there's some deferred maintenance that has to be addressed on all of them. However, that's, that's up to you. But we still have to value them accordingly based on condition.
Right.
So in that regard,
I just think it's challenging to say 60, 65, 47, 53, and 50. Those are the increases from one year to the next in market value on all 5 of them. It just doesn't seem right. So, I mean.
and when was the last time they were reassessed, though? When was?
Printouts that I put in there, I did some additional information. I think shows the history of the assessment increases, and I don't believe, but I could be wrong without looking at them again, that they haven't been reassessed in several years.
Well, that's part of it too, if they haven't been raised in the last many years. They've probably been a little under-assessed over time too.
Right, and I'm not trying to argue to a purchase price of $50,000 or $70,000 whenever I bought them. That I get. But, I mean, I'm just telling you, I can't afford to buy some of these properties at $190,000, $200,000 because I know they need work, or the numbers are hard to make work, so.
So what's that tell you about the area, though?
What's it tell me about the area?
Or the sales, the prices are up there.
Yeah, and again, for 2 years ago purchase, if you're at 120, if you guys want to say it's 10% higher, 15% higher, you pick a number that's more reasonable than a $65,000 increase, which is just, I get when we're talking 14 years ago or something, but, interest rates are still high. If you're trying to borrow money, it's still high. So there's a reason why people are forced. It's unfortunate. Like, people can't afford to buy if they're living in them. It's a lot of investors buying that are overpaying. There are a lot of people out of market. I happen to be from this area, so I come home. I have family that all lives here. So I live 4 hours away. I mean, Michelle was nice enough to say, you got to come. So, and I said, that's fine. So I'm sure you look up, there's people I'm competing with on a purchase that are in California or whatever, and they're used to overpaying for properties. So,
All right. We'll definitely appreciate your time. Did you want to say something?
Now, we've got different mailing addresses. Do we have the correct mailing addresses?
320, yeah, you should have 327 Cayley Court. It's the same
There's
one.
some of them that have King of Prussia. There's another.
That's King of
one.
Prussia, Cayley Court, King of Prussia.
My son used to live in that area.
Yeah.
But there's some other ones that we had a different mailing address. Here, why don't you just give me
Yeah. You take it
The
the
right
correct
address, and
address.
that way we'll change all the mailing addresses.
Okay. Because on the application, I put it too.
Yeah, this way we'll, and so we'll change, the city will change all of them to this address here.
No, it's, I own all these individually.
Yeah, okay.
Whether that's probably also wrong.
If somebody slips and falls.
Right.
Oh, that's your pen.
Oh, that is mine.
I take it out
Okay.
of my pen.
But again, appreciate you coming in
Yeah.
and from that distance, of course.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. I really do. I appreciate everyone's time and listening. And, you know, again, I mean, I think it's a challenge. I mean, I know I could get more rent, but it's also important to me, like, I'm trying to provide affordable housing. And so I do try to weigh that. Now, I'm still trying to make money on this stuff, and it gets harder when you know, I've been lucky that over the years, this is the first time I'm going through my second eviction on a new purchase. So I'm extremely, that's where I was like, it's hard. So you're paying, you know, trying to get tenants in. You can find tenants that'll pay $2,000 or $2,400 or whatever the market rent is. But, you know, it's challenging to get them to stay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No
so-
question. No question. No.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yes, thank
I
you.
appreciate
Safe
it. Thank you.
travels back. And
Is your brother Nick?
Yeah.
Okay, I went to school. I went to Bishop Bloodwood.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
we won't hold it against you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yes. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Thanks for waiting. Yeah. You're here for 255-57 Kensington? Yes. Yeah, okay. How are you?
This is the only rental house property I have. And so I want to say, I've had 2 conversations with the assessor's office.
Let me put you on record. Let me put you on record. No, that's quite all right. So if you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Wayne Parham.
Do you affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability? Okay, very good. Let me just read some information in, and then we'll take it from there. Once again, 255-57 Kensington Place. This is a 2-family house built in plus or minus 1910. Current tentative assessed value of, where are we here? Okay, let me get this here. This is number 17 on our list. Yes, $156,000 with a land value of $14,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $200,000, and that would be an assessed value of $115,000. Let me just thumb through here. Purchased for $113,000 in 1991. You've got cash checked off, but was it a mortgage?
That's what I wanted to mention is, it was a mortgage. Should that be corrected before on that piece of paper before?
Yeah, why don't you just cross out where it's checked off for cash and put your initials? And then check off mortgage. So you've got that written there, but just cross that out, put your initials, and then you can check off the next box right next to it, right next to your initials. Contract, it says.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't get that.
that's quite all right. All right, very good. Yes. Yeah. Okay, got a little description of it, and then we've got some commentary, which we will go over. And pretty extensive commentary, which is good. Okay. And then we have something from the tenant stating the rent. Okay. Okay. All right. Good information. And then And then we have, this is a comparable.
Yes and no.
This is not your house.
Correct.
Okay.
So I can tell you why I put that in, or should I? Yeah.
Well, but you can fit it in, whatever you got there.
Okay, well, that particular house is on the same block as the house we're talking about. And I just showed that picture because it's a totally different, looks like a totally different quality house than my house, which when I bought my house, I didn't understand that. But I don't, it's not a comp because I had trouble finding comps. I thought it would be the easiest thing in the world. I don't know why I couldn't find them. And I ran out of time. The last few days, nothing to do with you, but a few things came up, including a quick visit to the ER, which turned out fine. And I'm happy about that. But, beside the point. So I did this, which relates to the problems with the house. And I see now that what I was aware of was that every house has problems, and the older, the worse they are. So that wasn't a surprise. But I lived in this house for quite a few years, like about 20-some years. And so I know the house pretty well. And so now I found out that there are things that I don't know if it's a result of because it was built in 1910 or 15, or if it was just not craftsmen and people that weren't interested in building a house very well. But there are things that can't be maintained, can't be fixed, and they hurt the house. So my house looks pretty good from the street or the sidewalk. Sometimes it looks great, depending on the light. But that house, if I look at it carefully, and if you do, there's a lot of quality that I can see there that's not in my house. So that's why that picture. I don't know why I'm hoarse, but I am.
Let's hear about your house.
Okay, so the rents are month to month, and so just a couple of days ago, my tenant on the first floor, tenant on the second floor, wrote those emails to show the rents and what's included, which I include Wi-Fi and satellite TV. And I think in a lot of properties, like I think in a lot of the big commercial or the big giant residential properties, they give everybody Wi-Fi, they give everybody TV, and they don't even think about it. So I think it's a little unusual in a duplex to do that. I'm not sure, but that's what I think. So I factored in, with respect to the rents, that they don't have to pay.
For a second, it's 255 Kensington, the first floor? All right, so that's rented for $13.95 a month. And then 257 Kensington, the second floor, rent for $11.95 a month. And just if you could tell me the size of the first and second floor, are they symmetrical?
There's one more room on the first floor than the second.
Okay, how many bedrooms?
There's two in each.
Two in each. Fireplaces?
Fireplaces, but I'm not letting them use them anymore. I don't trust them anymore.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
I threw you off, didn't I?
well, there are five of you and only one of me, so, you know. But what I wanted to say at the beginning before, and I understand you, was just that I just had a phone conversation and an in-person conversation with the assessor's office, and they're nice people. They're respectful. They're respectful. And they didn't kill me or anything. I'm still alive. I I figured they'd be the worst people in the world.
They saved that up for us.
Well, I'm sorry. So I just want to throw that in. So this, which you have a copy of, I did to summarize, I'm sorry, I don't have comps, except Redfin, and I don't know if you care about Redfin. I don't know if that's good.
We'll take
bad,
whatever you have. No
and-
problem.
Would you like a glass of water?
But if it's not too much trouble.
Can you get us some water, please?
I don't know what's going on.
And/or
Probably
coffee
choked
if
up
you
by
want.
It's dry in here.
And
You want
lady.
some coffee?
No, thanks.
Water? Okay.
But I'm not sick. I want you to know. My ER thing was
I'm going back to the office.
physical. So, so Redfin does show well, this is not a count, this is my house. And this is recent. Redfin shows my house at 226.
Yeah. We'll, no, if you want to submit it, great, but we won't talk about Redfin.
Well,
Just from, all they are is numbers, right? They haven't seen your house. They don't go inside. So it's strictly a number comparison. So okay to go on, but we don't hold much merit in it.
probably from somebody 3,000 miles away.
Well, no question about it. And again, it's strictly numbers. You know, it's more important. That's why we have you in to tell us the condition and that kind of thing.
Right, thank you. So, okay. There was one just quick thing on grievance application. Did I do it wrong on page 3? Whereas value of property from part 1, which is what I'm asking for, 200,000. Complainant believes the assessment should be reduced to 115,000. But I got that from some calculation that I must have done wrong. Because I'm sorry, but I'm a little confused about.
$200,000 value would come out using our equalization rate of $115,000 assessment.
Oh,
You did it right. You
Yeah.
did it right.
so I'm still confused, but it doesn't matter.
Well, basically, comparing apples to apples, so the city believes that your assessed value should be 156,000, which would equate to a value of 271,304.
Right, okay.
You believe that the property's worth 200, which would be an assessed value of 115. So that's how you got that. So basically, and we zero in on not only market value, but at the end of the day, it's the assessed value. So the city says 156, you say 115, so we need to decide where we think it's at. Okay?
So this, which I just gave a copy of, if I could, can I just kind of talk from this? I won't read the whole thing.
Yeah, no, whatever, I would say pull out your bullet points, and I think that'd be great.
It's up to them.
The whole, are you on my side?
I'm on the city's side.
So this is, so Tom represents the city as an assessor,
Oh,
not necessarily who you talk to, because
Probably
there's,
was real nice when you talk to.
Yeah.
yeah, that is doubtful.
so I didn't reach you, but I'll call you about everything that has to do with Syracuse.
I'm the one.
You reached the nice assessor. But anyway, all kidding aside, yeah, so I think, whatever your bullet points are, we are going to go through this information.
Oh, you mean after this?
Oh, yes,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely.
Thank you. And so, I intended to, I just ran out of time, which is a bad excuse, but I was going to submit photos of conditions of the house, because that's a lot better than listening to me. But I don't know if comps really matter. If you could tell me that after we go through this. Because what I'm trying to get to is, the house is not in the shape that you would think it is in, if you're looking at it from the sidewalk, if you're driving by. We touched up the paint with my handyman summer before last, and I was surprised. That was worth doing. It made more difference than I guessed. But my understanding is that there are sort of two categories of problems with a house. There's normal maintenance and repairs that you got to do. I don't care if it's new or old. The old will require more, but that doesn't affect the value very much because you have to do it forever, right? So what I would like to talk about is things that are not maintenance or repair. So if I can talk from this, there's a room that was added way back to the back of the house, and it just exists on the first floor. It's included in the square footage of the house, so it's not a discrepancy in the square footage of the house. But it has just a crawl space under it, not a full basement. It doesn't have an attic. It's got a space about this big above the ceiling and a shed roof. And it's exposed on three sides to Syracuse winters because it's sticking out, or it's not sticking, it's attached to the back of the house. And so the reason that I think it affects the value is in winter it's close to worthless. And I've had a company professionally insulate it. There's some areas they can't get to, and it still is uncomfortable. You can't heat it unless you put a propane heater back there, and it's just not comfortable. So that's an example, if you will, if you don't mind what I'm saying, that when I saw this house and I bought it way back, it's a room. I didn't know it was a room with a problem.
What's the size of it?
It's not that big. It's like 10 by 12, something like that. This would seem like just an irritation, but it could turn into a bigger problem. The laundry's in the basement. The tenants get free use of it. But one of the things that I want to get you a picture of is that if this is the stairway to the basement, and it's this wide, when they built the house, the wall that divides the wall that where the top of this stair is about here. It's not over here. So the stair's this wide, and you can't use it except this wide, just because of somebody was drunk that day, or they didn't design, or I don't know, but it's ridiculous. So it's difficult to move things into storage in the basement and take them back out. But, I can live with that. Life's not easy. But laundry machines now are just getting crazier and crazier, and they're all getting bigger. So I have to really search to find a new laundry machine that'll fit down there. The last time I had to do that, the delivery guy said, forget it, we can't get it down there. And I had measured, it's like about 1/4 of an inch that you can get the machine down. So who cares if you can get the machine down there? Well, sooner or later, the old style machines are not going to be made anymore. I'm not going to be able to use it. It's going to go down there. Meaning, everybody wants a laundry in their house. They don't want it. No place to put laundry on the first floor. So that's why I identify that as a problem, not just
Go ahead.
minor, but, to new tenants, when they change, they're going to want a laundry, There are two closets. This seems minor too, but, if you're living there, it's not so minor. There are two closets that there's no heat in the closets, of course, but their walls and ceilings are exposed to the cold. One is because it's under the entrance stairway to the second, it's on the first floor, but it's under the entrance stairway to the second floor. And the entrance stairway is not heated either. So that particular one is about as long as this table, but it's narrower than the table. So you have to walk in to deal with your clothes. And so it's not just reaching into a cold place. so that seems minor too, but if you live there, that's the only closet for that bedroom. Everything you wear in the morning is cold. The garage, I'm sure there are garages in this area that are also built really badly back in 1910. The footings are about as good as, you know, maybe they would hold up a shed, but they're not even really that good. So I understand that it's not the only garage in the area that's not built very well. But there are a lot of garages that were built well. Right next door to me, the first house south has a garage that's sitting there like it's going to be there forever. Everything's plumb, everything's level, everything's beautiful. So the garage is a problem, and it's, you know, it sags. The back wall is bowing out, and when I'm comparing it with other garages, because there's other garages in Syracuse that are not made very well either, there's an additional problem that before I bought the house, whoever owned it had asphalt paving paved inside the garage, right up against the bottom plate of the wooden walls of the garage, and over the bottom plate, which is just a great way to encourage rot and kind of push things out of whack a little bit. So I've had it braced in a way. A guy came in and he was pretty creative. He braced it in a way I didn't think could be braced. That's not a solution, it's just kind of a solution. I honestly, you know, I would love to have a giant garage. It's, you know, it's two-family detached. I would love to have a giant garage back there that's in great shape, but that's not it. Trying to repair this garage with the asphalt in there, sills are not in good shape. Probably demolishing it and building a new one would be easier than trying to fix it. And I was told that a new garage would start at around $20,000. I think I was told that probably $1 billion now. This is maybe not a big thing, or maybe it is, I don't know. The old bathtubs in both apartments are deteriorated. I had them refinished, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 years ago. That finish, and that was not cheap. That finish is peeling, and so they don't look so good. They're built into the wall. They're not a freestanding cloth. And then there are the front porches, which are, as you can see in the picture, are typical totally open porches that a lot of houses have. But they are such a maintenance problem that I consider them a liability, not an asset. I wasn't familiar with that when I bought that. They more or less amount to a wooden bathtub, all wood, and you paint them, and they're great for a couple of years, and then the snow gets to them, the water gets to them, and you're not painting them, but you're replacing members. So that the picture that that you did see of the house down the street makes a big impression on me, because there's no porches in the front of this house. And I was in there a long time ago, and I think they used to be porches, I think, I'm not sure. And now they look as solid as they could be. Nice bank of 4 windows on the first floor, 4 windows on the second floor. And so no maintenance like the open porches. Additionally, this house, that's a fuzzy picture, but when I looked at it online, it's in great shape. It looks great. So,
Well, good comparison.
yeah.
We do have to wrap it up soon, just because security's waiting on us to be able to leave.
Okay. Anything you want to add in, well, let's see. What do you got? You already submit?
Yeah, just a couple of questions and comments. They pay their own utilities, which you, right? Okay.
Some.
Right, and your rent, to be honest with you, for the area, they're low. And most of the landlords up there, they don't provide, Wi-Fi free. They pass that on to the tenant. Laundry services, if they're students, they're used to going to the laundry. But, like I say, when I see the rents, $13.95, I'm familiar. I used to live on Westcott. My brother lived on Westcott. Grandfather lived on Westcott. My parents lived on Allen Street. So I know the area really well, and it's right there on the campus bus line. So you probably could get more, but that, I'm not telling you how to run your business, but you give them a lot for their rent. You're giving them a lot of freebies for the rent that you get. I shouldn't be saying that, but most landlords will wrap the cost of Wi-Fi into the rent. Even if you give them if you give them cable TV, even more so, because that's an expense that's typically passed on to the tenant. And I doubt if you did it, I doubt that they'd leave because they like it because of proximity to the campus. They're young people, they can walk.
Yeah.
Or catch the bus.
In this case, it's a professional woman upstairs and a retired woman downstairs.
Okay.
I have had
That explains
students.
the rent.
Yeah. And, I mean, I just have the one rental house, and that's it. And it's nice to not have turnover.
Yeah.
So I gotta go down. So, but I appreciate what you're saying. I do somewhat disagree with you about the laundry, though, because everybody that's ever rented from me in that house loves being able to go and do the laundry. And
Something that usually isn't given for free. The ones that have it, they're coin operated.
yeah. Anything you want to say in closing? Well, can I just explain, I didn't, all the figures on here, which I arrived at a total for things that are more or less routine maintenance and repairs. And the stuff that I just went through with you that I've come to understand, this house should not be that way, but it is. And it adds up to a lot of money. So I cut it in half when I said how much I would like to have the house assessed at. Because, it just seems to me that those are the kind of things that people would say, well, Wayne, some of that you just got to deal with. And the full cost of the maintenance and repairs, you can't expect to affect the assessment that much, although some of them are pretty wild. But you can't expect them to affect the assessment that much. So I get that. And so I arrived at the cost of all of that, and then I divided it in half and arrived at the 200,000. I was surprised that the analysis that I did on the last page also arrived at 200,000, and that was just from the rents. What I'm not an expert on, but use the rent multiplier, okay? I don't know if it's what you use, and came up with 200,000. So I'm just trying to explain what I did here.
And submit it to the board.
Yeah, I got it in here. Yeah, and I did, and we will go through that in detail. So my question is, because I expected to have comps, but I don't, except, this house. And, there is one, we already talked about it.
would it be helpful if I submitted comps, or if I presented as much as you would like?
You could definitely submit, okay, there's the email address. Yeah, okay, great. So you can submit up until, where are we here?
Beginning of March,
What's that?
beginning of March.
Yeah.
End of
Yeah,
February.
so up until probably February 28th, if you can, I think that's a Friday. Yeah, that's a Friday. So we will, if you want to submit anything via email, just put the property address and your name and information. And we will take whatever you submit, and we will put it in the file, and then when we deliberate, we will go over it.
And so with pictures of the things that are not good conditions about the house, that's probably helpful.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Pictures and comps really are what we use to try to determine value in
If
addition
they're
to
in
the
the city,
rents.
we probably have pictures of them, so you don't get people challenging you when you're taking pictures. People get a little nervous.
I think I know. I'm not sure.
They don't like us taking pictures of their houses, but when they see we're in a city car, they rest a little easier. But when they see a private individual taking pictures, I know when I
He's
used to
talking
do
about his house.
his house.
Yeah,
Oh, your house?
yeah.
Oh, okay, you can take all you want.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about comparables. We got pictures of
Well, I have a shouldn't take your time. I have a neighbor who hates anything and everything I do, so, you know. Anything short of that is a gift, is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
could go on
we'll,
about that for days.
We'll take everything into consideration in addition to what you may submit.
Okay.
And then we'll come up with a decision, and then the city will send you a notice first week of April.
Can I say one more thing quickly? I hope that the crazy prices during COVID don't influence the assessor or anything. I'm sure they don't, because everybody knows
Nothing
about it.
influences us.
But I noticed that the 9-year-old vehicle that I drive is now worth about somewhere between 12 and 14,000. During COVID, which was only a couple of years ago, it was 22 grand.
Yeah.
Just hold it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, new cars were $1 million, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kept it.
Exactly.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
the water saved my life.
Very good. No, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Drive careful on the way home.
I think it's starting to
and,
snow, so.
Oh, really?
Snow. Do we have snow?
You heard of that?
Snow here?
Thank you very
This
much.
year.
Appreciate it.
See it at night,
Uh,
the no-shows.
Yep. Great. This one here you'll see on your list. You can read that one because they didn't actually fill out an application. Just bring that in today. So they don't file.
that was, yep.
And the one at the bottom, don't worry about right now.
Okay.
Okay, but here's the other one. The first one is Foxborough and then Thurber. Foxborough, he did email earlier.
Make it do the weather.
Yes, so I marked that on there. And the other one I just
Okay, so we've got a couple of petitioners that weren't able to make it. And the first one that we'll treat as number 18 on our list is 129 Foxborough Road. This is a 2-story, single-family residence, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath deck, detached garage on a 60 by 150 lot. Current tentative assessed value is $50,000. That says for 2024. Okay. It'll be tentative for 2025. with a land value of $12,200. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $73,500, which would be an equatable assessed value of $42,263. And there's a lot of stuff in the file, so we will go ahead and take a look at that when we deliberate. And then lastly, 606 Thurber, which would be number 19 on our list. This is a two-family house, current tentative assessed value $120,000, with a land value of $22,600. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $78,000, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $44,850. And the only thing in here is, in fact, the application. So just to clarify, 129 Foxborough, the petitioner was in touch with you via email?
Yeah, so they called, they let me know that they weren't gonna be able to make it, and then they emailed.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like they're planning on coming at a later date. And then 606 Thurber, we've got the application only, and you haven't heard from them. Okay. So with that, we will go ahead and adjourn for this evening. It is.
Okay, one quick, on those ones that were no-shows, the official position of the department is that they be dismissed.
Okay, and I'm sorry I didn't ask you for feedback. Dismissed with or without prejudice?
With prejudice.
Dismissed with prejudice?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Mhm.
Okay.
If they didn't want to come in to plead their case.
Well, I don't know, I'm not sure about Thurber, but this Foxborough one.
There's a letter in there that you might want to read.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we will go through that. And it is 8:45, and we're adjourned for the night. Thank you very much.
I'm spending the night.
Oh.